Michael Jordan entered the United Center as a Bull. He enters tonight in a different uniform, but the feeling of the people of Chicago is still the same.
The Chicago Bulls pick Michael Jordan.
Whose game is it? It's Michael Jordan's game.
In Game 1, a legend returns for one final curtain call.
He can shoot it with his eyes closed.
Absolutely awesome.
Michael Jordan gives his last performance in Chicago, the city where the star became an immortal and a champion.
Here's Jordan. A spectacular move.
It's one of the greatest teams that ever lived.
Then the nightcap. A rematch of last year's NBA Finals.
A three-peat for the world champion Lakers.
Jason Kidd and the powerful Nets are in LA to take on Shaq, Kobe, and the resurgent Lakers.
You gotta be born this way.
More than 22,000 fans expected in the United Center to see the final game of Michael Jordan in Chicago and the man himself. This could be a very emotional night for Michael as he plays his last game in the United Center. Hello and welcome to NBA Friday. I'd like to welcome everyone watching on ESPN, Kevin Frazier, Greg Anthony, and boy, what a big night. We start with the Wizards and Bulls and Michael's final game. Then we finish with a rematch of the NBA Finals as the Lakers take on the Nets. And, you know, I hate to repeat myself. I said this last week, but there really are only 3 or 4 must-see games in an NBA season. This is one of them, Greg. And I don't know if folks out there can really grasp the magnitude of what Michael means to the city of Chicago.
You know, that's so true. This is going to be an extremely huge night, not only for Michael Jordan, but as you mentioned, the city of Chicago. Because when you speak of Michael Jordan, you're talking about the most dominant sports figure in that city's illustrious history, you know, surpassing the likes of Red Grange, Bobby Hull, and one of my all-time favorites, Ernie Banks. So tonight's going to be extremely exciting.
Yeah, I think Michael Jordan has like pushed Mrs. O'Leary's cow to the back burner. I mean, everyone's forgotten about the cow. Patrick Ewing, the assistant coach for the Wizards, he says, I want to see him cry. I hope that he breaks down. I don't know if Michael will break down, but I think it'll be a very, very emotional night. Coming up at halftime, we will talk live with Phil Jackson, the man who, along with Michael, helped define that dynasty in Chicago. 6 championships and really an aura around that team, that they were an unbeatable force. Michael Jordan, 122-9 in the United Center, hugging Jesse Jackson. The game's next.
All new 220 horses and one more thing. The all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6.
It's an awesome concert.
Man, that stinks.
Yeah, I know, it's great weed, huh? It's an awesome concert.
Oh, what's up, rookie?
It's an awesome concert.
I'm so stoned. Do you remember where we were sitting?
It's an awesome concert.
Put it down. Here. It's real smart. Come here, put your hand against the wall. Get your hand against the wall. Turn around. Where'd you put it?
My name's Friday. I'm a cop.
From the creator of Law and Order,
There's a serial killer out there right now hunting down young women.
Ed O'Neill,
We gotta get this guy now.
Ethan Embry.
Talk or you'll never talk again.
The Badge is back. Dragnet, ABC Sunday, February 2nd.
We need to go somewhere besides the family room. Maybe, Albuquerque? Mom said she needs her fire rekindled, whatever that means.
Travelocity has great deals on 6,500 cruises and vacations.
I know what that means. It means get off your big bottom and take us on a trip. Travelocity. Call or see site for details.
Get an amazing PC deal now from Gateway. Buy one award-winning PC and get a second award-winning PC for free. Purchase a Gateway 700XL desktop or a Gateway 600XL notebook, and you'll get a Gateway 300S value PC for free. The Gateway 600XL notebook PC uses the mobile Intel Pentium 4 processor M.
I'll take it.
Call 1-800-GATEWAY now.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Friday, brought to you by the all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6 Sports Sedan.
Welcome to Chicago. It's been 5 years since Michael Jordan and the Bulls hung the last of their 6 championship banners, but you get the feeling it could be 50 years, and people here will never forget. Thanks for the memories. They're all here. They know this is their last chance to see Michael Jordan on the floor of the Chicago Bulls, on the floor that he made famous. John Saunders alongside of Sean Elliott. And Sean, you think back to when Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a game. It was in Hershey, Pennsylvania. The arena sat about 6,000, but I think there were 500,000 people who said they went to the game. You get the feeling that's what it will be like tonight. Everyone in Chicago will say, we were there.
And I'm privileged enough to be here. I'm excited. I told you, when he comes out and runs out, I might be lighting a match when Michael Jordan gets introduced. I'm excited.
Without question, it's going to be a lot of fun regardless of the outcome. And right now, we want to join Steve Scott one more time to announce the arrival of MJ.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. Introducing first the visiting Washington Wizards. The head coach of the Wizards is Doug Collins. Now the starting lineup. At forward, from North Carolina, 6'6", Jerry Stackhouse. A 6'11" forward from Duke, Christian Laettner. At center, from North Carolina, 7 foot, Brendan Haywood. A 6'5" guard from St. Louis, Larry Hughes. From North Carolina, at guard, 6'6", Michael Jordan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's truly been a pleasure. You guys have given me great pleasure to play here in the city of Chicago. My heart will always be here in Chicago. I love you all. Still support the Chicago Bulls. Thank you for support over the years. I love you all. Thank you very much.
Jordan, the last words on the court. Coming up, he will let his basketball play do the talking for the rest of the night. Those of you watching on ESPN, we're going to take you to Edge. NFL matchup will continue on ESPN2 as the Chicago Bulls are unveiled. Last time they were here, about 2 minutes and 15 seconds, 3 minutes and 20 seconds before Michael Jordan grabbed the microphone and started to speak. I think the people were surprised by exactly how excited Michael Jordan got to be able to grab the mic and speak before these fans.
Yeah, and he was just humble. He didn't want to say a lot. He kind of wanted to get it over with. You can tell he was just a little embarrassed by the ovation.
Michelle Tavoy has been at this building, I think, all day following Michael around. Michelle, it's a special night.
It sure is, and I spoke with him earlier, John, and I asked him what it's like for him to come back here. He admitted he gets pretty sentimental, but he also admitted something pretty interesting. He said, I lack my killer instinct when I play my old team. He said it's sensitive for me to go out there and try to kill the team I used to play for in front of all these fans who love me and the fans that I love. But he said, I'll do what I have to do tonight. He said, I want to leave this building as a winner, the way Chicago has always known me. John?
And Michelle, regardless of what happens during the game, one thing is certain, Michael Jordan will be a winner, whatever endeavor he decides to take when he goes back to being the owner of the Washington Wizards as well. But tonight, again, Sean, if you're on the opposing team, if you grew up watching Michael Jordan, as a lot of the Bulls have, this has got to be a little intimidating for your home floor, your home crowd, to love the opposing player that much.
It is, but you better come out and play. You better bring your A game because Michael's going to try to smash you in the mouth early on. You have to remember that he's playing with emotion as well. You're going to be a little intimidated, but you have to remember you have to play.
It was October the 16th, 1984. And ironically enough, it was Washington, although then as the Bullets that came into Chicago, and then it was at Chicago Stadium to face Michael Jordan, who was a rookie on that night as he made his NBA debut. 6 championships later, countless All-Stars, MVP, a stint in baseball, and everything else.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the game where Jeff Ruland sent him to the floor.
That's right.
Nice shot in the ribs.
Welcome to the league, bro. We are underway, and it's the Chicago Bulls who go to work first. Jamal Crawford running the point. Larry Hughes picks him up. Oh, and Larry Hughes comes up with an early steal. Read that one easily, wants to take it to Chandler. Lost his dribble and lost it out of the bounds, so we start with a couple of turnovers.
You can see already the Bulls look like they're a little nervous to start.
And you see the Bulls, they just cannot stop anyone, and that's been their problem. They've actually been scoring much better than previous years, but they've been unable to stop the opposing team.
A sign of a young team.
And we get another turnover. Stackhouse comes out of there and says, "Get out of the way, Michael." It's your night, and you can see what the Wizards have done defensively, and that's the reason why they've hung around that 500 mark after starting so poorly right now at 21-21. Michael Jordan now. Jalen Rose right in his pocket. Shot clock is at 5. Jordan's got to go to work. Comes up shooting. Comes up short. Rebounded by the Bulls. Crawford wants to run with it. Hughes gets in front of him. Rose into Chandler. Turns around and rattles one down.
Well, you have to love his athletic ability, John. It's 6'11" with those long arms, really pushing 7 feet tall with those long arms and athletic ability. He's a special player. He has the ability, that's for sure.
That's what the Bulls saw in him when they brought Chandler and Curry in, both right out of high school, and Stackhouse gets the first points for the Wizards.
Stack has got to step up and be an offensive force, and you can't really blame him. Being on a team with Michael Jordan, you tend to defer that scoring responsibility, but Stack was brought in here to be a big-time player.
Hassel swings to Crawford, who's wide open, and nails a three-pointer.
You're not going to get a lot of wide-open shots against the Wizards. You saw that graphic earlier where they've improved their defense, and really Michael's the guy. He's out there getting on people. He's going to make sure that guys are out there helping each other out.
Jordan gets a couple of players in the air, moves it around. Hughes comes up and nails the jumper.
And he's had a good year. Quietly, Larry Hughes has been producing at that one spot. He's been dishing the ball, and he leads the team in rebounding. So that tells you what kind of player Larry Hughes is. He has a world of potential.
Crawford, who's running the point because Jay Williams, the rookie out of Duke, is out with a bad ankle. This is his third game he's missed. Hassel goes in trying to create something. A lot of contact down there. No whistle. Stackhouse takes it from Hughes. Pulls up as Jalen Rose backed off to get in rebounding position, and Stackhouse misses the open look.
I would love to see the Washington Wizards play up-tempo ball.
Donyell Marshall from just inside the arc.
You told me before the game you thought Donyell Marshall was getting taller.
I swear.
I said, he's always been long. I mean, he had to guard the guy for a lot of years. When he was playing that 3 spot, he'd take you in the block. It's like guarding a 7-footer.
Jordan gets it back and gets his first dose, and the crowd responds.
I'd also love to see Michael have a huge night tonight. 30-plus would be in order.
Our producer, Aaron Owens, said he had a dream that he dropped 40 tonight. So we'll see how AO comes out with that. Jordan ahead to Stackhouse, looks at a three-pointer. A little bit deep, it comes right back out to the Bulls.
Stack's got to follow that shot. He kind of floated into that. I liked his balance, but then he just floated backwards after shooting that ball. An opportunity for an offensive rebound.
Don't give that guy a look at 3. Jalen Rose has been deadly out there. It's 7 against Atlanta this year, and where's the defense there?
It's non-existent. I mean, that's a sign of a young team. You don't really put a priority on defense. You're out there, for the most part, trying to get your numbers. The young players, when they come into the league, they're not really concerned about winning championships. I don't care what they say. They're out there trying to make a name for themselves, trying to put up numbers, and defense really isn't a concern to them.
Hassel trying to create, and finally Haywood commits the foul.
You have Michael here creating in the low block. He's got basically 3 people around him, but he gets the ball out. He gives you the pass that leads to the assist. It should be an assist, like you say, in the NHL. Michael getting his teammates started. Here he is trying to create something on the penetration. Gets the ball back, patting the jumper.
Hassel at the line, and can't get that one to drop down, but Michael Jordan and the Wizards, their fortune started to get a little better when MJ went into the starting lineup, at the beginning of the season, we wondered how long the experiment of coming off the bench would last. And right now, this is his 28th start of the year.
It didn't last very long.
No. You want your best players on the floor. It's that simple.
But he's been a starter for so many years. It was just unfathomable to me how he was going to be able to come off the bench and survive doing that the entire year. It was tough for me coming off the bench, and I was not nearly the player or didn't play nearly the minutes that Michael played.
Stackhouse in some trouble. Haywood at the free throw line is open and rattles that one in. 3 players starting for the Wizards out of North Carolina. It's rare for a team to have 3 players from one school on the same team, let alone starting. Donyell Marshall trying to get open. Jalen Rose puts it on the floor. Great little pass. And it ends up being turned over. But Jalen Rose with a terrific pass underneath looking for Chandler. What was the greatest All-Star weekend ever? Well, log on to NBA.com for the candidates. I have a feeling that this year in Atlanta is going to be very special as well. And what do you think? Michael Jordan going to be on the team?
Well, he should be.
I'll be shocked if he's
Something's wrong, yeah. I mean, people want to talk about what he's not. But what he is right now is a guy who's leading this Washington Wizards team into the playoffs. And they have no business being a 500 team with such a young team.
Crawford on the run here. Takes it right at Leitner. And that'll turn the other way. Leitner grabs the rebound. And Michelle, I think without question, everyone will look to see number 23 in Atlanta.
They will, but Michael said earlier today, and he's been saying all week, he really hopes that the league doesn't create an extra spot for him. He wants to either get selected by the coach or not play at all. He said that would be embarrassing. That's not the way he wants to be there, John.
Now, that makes a good point, but I find it hard to believe there would be any coach in the league who wouldn't put Michael Jordan's name on their ballot.
I would be shocked. And he means that. He means that much. I mean, guys aren't going to write his name down just because he's Michael. They recognize the job he's done in Washington.
Jalen Rose tried to break free. And Leitner and Jordan were there. See what Michael Jordan has done in All-Stars. There's only been one triple-double in All-Star history, and that was it. 1997, 14, 11, and 11. Rose grabs a double team, now backs out of it. Tries to drive around Jordan. Everyone seems to be having a tough time gripping the ball. Then Larry Hughes loses it out of bounds.
Well, that was Michael swatting down at the ball. Jalen Rose did a great job penetrating middle, but he's a lefty, and you have to remember, if he's going to get that shot up, he's bringing that ball to Michael Jordan's wheelhouse. Michael just swatted down at that ball and got a piece of it.
And then Larry Hughes is unable to corral it. Looks like it just slipped off his fingertips. You can see that Chicago has started extremely cold in this game. Rose swings it to Marshall. Hassel with it, wants to break down Stackhouse, comes in, tough shot. Misses everything, but Donyell Marshall chases it down and whoa. Crawford from deep, 3 is too deep. Larry Hughes wants to run. Ahead to Stackhouse, pulls up, short with the shot. Crawford had the rebound right to Haywood. He gets blocked by Chandler, and away we go the other way. Hassel now, right at Jordan. You don't think you can guard anymore? How about moving the feet there?
Jalen Rose was calling for that bounce pass. He was on the opposite end of the floor. Hassel just didn't see him.
Larry Hughes with it now.
That last possession, Larry Hughes did something that I really liked. He gave that ball up in the open court to Jerry Stackhouse. He wasn't concerned about the assist. He was trying to get Stackhouse the ball in a spot where he could do something with it. Too many times point guards want to hold on to that ball, give the guy the pass at the last minute so they can get that assist. Larry Hughes was setting up Jerry Stackhouse. He's letting him do his thing.
Jordan now. Jalen Rose stays with him. Leitner dumps it down to Haywood. Right at Donyell Marshall. Had to sky it to get something there. And Haywood again, then misses the dunk. Everyone's a little apprehensive tonight for whatever reason. And Chandler knocks it down for 2 for the Bulls.
Yeah, for whatever reason, everybody's apprehensive. And Michael's in the house. These guys, these young players just saw a 3-minute-plus standing ovation.
Good point. They're sitting there wondering, someday will I go out on top like that?
A lot of work.
Stackhouse. Right at Chandler. Runs out of real estate. Hughes. Boy, the shooting is just looking extremely horrendous early on. Crawford Back out to Hassel now. Swings it to Marshall. Has an open look at three. Launches it and buries the shot. Too much time.
Well, he was in rhythm when he caught the ball, went up with it. Larry Hughes on the other end was not in rhythm. He kind of caught that pass unexpectedly and went up with it.
And Washington wants a timeout as the Chicago Bulls have an early lead on Michael Jordan's final night here in Chicago, playing on the floor that he helped make famous.
With today's fashions, if you're going to drink responsibly. 95-calorie Amstel Light.
What do you care? You've got the goodness of Reese's peanut butter and milk chocolate. Get lost in a Reese's.
Order Showtime now to get $50 cash and see the most exciting fighters in the business. Undisputed champion Kostya Tszyu. Former world champion Sharmba Mitchell. The 2000 Olympians Rocky Juarez and Francisco Bojado. Plus, the return of the biggest name in boxing, Mike Tyson. To order, call 1-888-SHOWTIME and get $50 cash. Showtime, America's #1 boxing network.
What do you call a sports sedan? That's more sports than sedan. The all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6.
Unlike watery tasting light beer, Amstel Light makes your mouth water. Amstel Light, the beer drinker's light beer.
The ovation lasted well over 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Had Michael Jordan not finally taken the mic, the ovation may still be going as he thanked his faithful.
Thank you. It's truly been a pleasure. You guys have given me great pleasure to play here in the city of Chicago. I love y'all. Still support the Chicago Bulls. Thank you for support over the years. I love y'all. Thank you very much.
The other interesting thing is that Michael still lives in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so if he were not playing for the Wizards, as well as having part-time ownership in the Wizards, he probably would be just a huge Chicago Bulls fan.
Well, you know, what stands out to me when I see that ovation, John, is one, I'm just pleased that the people treated him, they treat him with so much respect because he deserves it, and they haven't forgotten how great Michael Jordan was and is. And secondly, how do you let a guy like that leave your organization? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, that's one of the things that we talked about for years to come. How many the Bulls might have won if first Michael Jordan didn't retire the first time and go back to playing baseball, and second, had the Bulls not been broken up after they won their 6th championship, if Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and such should have been or could have been kept around. You wonder if they had 1 or 2 more championships in them.
Or 3 or 4. And we were talking before the game about the handful of great players in this league now and in the past that haven't won championships because of one man. I mean, Michael's playing with one on his team, and he has one on the bench. I mean, Patrick and Charles Oakley, those guys, who knows, they maybe have a couple championships if Michael isn't playing.
Jalen Rose takes it right at the glass, comes up short, gets it back and drops it off the iron and in. You're right. Imagine some of the players who played during Jordan's era saying, yeah, I was a great NBA player. I had thousands of points. John Paxson, of course, played with Michael Jordan, part of the championships here. Well, Grandpa, how many championships did you win? None.
You can be a Hall of Famer, but if you're around in the Jordan eras, I mean, you can just go down the list. Karl Malone, John Stockton, Patrick,
Charles Barkley,
Oak, and if Michael doesn't quit and play baseball, you might add Akeem Olajuwon to that list. And for that matter, if he continues to play, you might add David Robinson to that list that year that we won it. So as far as I'm concerned, you've never seen a player that's been so dominant. He's kept so many players from winning championships, but yet he's won championships for a lot of different players.
That's right. The league owes him a lot. And we'll put you on that list as well, of somebody who might never have had a championship.
Exactly.
If Michael hadn't been sitting out. That's Curry, who, of course, is the other second-year player out of high school. He came in as Chandler went to the bench. And Kwame Brown comes in, who was the #1 pick a year ago, as it was a banner year for high school players. They're all still trying to find themselves. Rick Brunson drops it down to Donyell Marshall, gets it back, swings it back outside. Jalen Rose is open, comes up short with the 3. Jordan ahead to Stackhouse. Flips it back to Brown. Style points for Stack, I'm not sure.
He didn't know where he was. Just flipping that ball up.
Nice pass this time down to Leitner on the baseline, and he puts it home.
Christian Leitner quietly has been solid for this team. He's taken the starting role from the younger players, and he's been a consistent scorer, a guy who's going to go out there, play defensive rebound, and do the little things for you, not make a whole lot of mistakes.
Yeah, Leitner is probably one of the unsung players in the league this year. Brunson down to Marshall.
Really has done a nice job.
Marshall loses the handle with some help from Leitner and just beats the shot clock. And Donyell will tell us, yeah, that's how I did it in practice. I diagrammed it that way, but I think he's just trying to beat the clock any way he could.
Yeah, nice and easy. A little curveball off the glass.
Brunson, who, of course, is a great defender. This is just his 4th game back. 4th game of the year, and Eddie Curry drops that one home.
Curry showed some strength going up, but the ball got knocked out of his hands as he went up. But you have to love Brunson playing that D at half court. You can't get lackadaisical with the basketball.
One word for why you expect great D out of Brunson: temple. You don't play for John Chaney unless you play some defense.
You have to be tough to play for Don Chaney, that's for sure. He's going to test you mentally.
Jordan turns a little deep with that shot. Larry Hughes almost had it. Brunson ahead to Hassel. Stackhouse picks him up. Jalen Rose puts it on the floor this time before swinging it to Donyell Marshall. Stackhouse past him. Brunson in for a closer look into the corner. Hassel from the baseline rattles down and out. Kwame Brown clears. Stackhouse on the floor driving at Hassel and a charge. Dick Bavetta in there quickly with the call. And a Washington Wizards trailing the Bulls 19-17 on Jordan's night.
All right, nothing but girl. Sorry. Well, I guess I'm not going to the NBA All-Star Shootout anytime soon, but you could. That's because the more collect calls you make with 1-800-CALLATT, the more chances you have to enter or win a trip for 2 to NBA All-Star 2003 in Atlanta. 6 winners will be paired with 6 NBA players in the 1-800-CALL-ATT Shootout. If your NBA player wins the shootout, you win $50,000. So just keep using 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls, and you might just have a shot. You are so beautiful. I think I just double dribbled.
This movie stinks! This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen! Come on! That's a guy in a rubber suit! Look! My mom could make a better movie than this! Shut up! Are you talking to me? I'm not gonna shut up! You shut up!
War of the Monsters. Tough claw-to-claw combat, where only the meanest monster survives. Rated T for Teen.
Gentlemen, it's now time for your halftime entertainment. Please direct your attention to center court as we welcome the greatest entertainer of the 20th century. Old Blue Eyes, the chairman of the board, Francis Albert Sinatra.
I've got you under my skin. I have got you deep in the heart of me.
Frazier and Greg Anthony in the studio. Let's update the Suns and Magic. And right now, the Magic caught in the matrix, Greg.
Sean Marion, Mike Miller, too small on the interior. You try to put a bigger body on it. He takes him to the exterior, knocks down a jumper. Okay, now put your best player on it. Loses him, rebounds, up for 2.
He had 21 in the first half. He has 23 right now.
There's certain things in life.
Beats the buzzer, but can't drop it down, and the first quarter comes to an end with the hometown Chicago Bulls leading Michael Jordan and the Washington Wizards 21-19. Regardless of score, regardless of outcome, it is Michael Jordan's night, and we'll get back to Chicago with more of it in a moment.
All right, watch the English on this one, Chief.
Foul ball and third out.
All right, go
I
ahead.
step
What
up
you
to the
got?
plate.
Watch the line, watch the line.
Watch the pro in action.
Pro, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know
Double.
what that was.
Double.
What are you talking about double?
Am I in a roll or what?
That's a double.
It's a double. You had to go get it?
It's a double.
It's a double. Kiss it.
I don't
Kiss
know
the
what
double.
game you guys
Kiss
are
the double.
playing. Kiss the double.
Yeah.
You're a moron.
It's my turn. This doesn't even count.
Oh.
That doesn't count.
What are you talking about?
All new, 220 horses, and one more thing. The all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6.
Pizza Hut announces new stuffed crust gold. The pizza with a ring of cheese baked inside the crust now has zesty cheddar cheese around the outer rim for a toasted crunch. Get a stuffed crust pizza for $9.99 or go for the gold for $1 more. Stuffed crust gold, new at Pizza Hut.
Kings taking on the Hawks in Atlanta. Chris Webber going to work. He backs down. He has 11 points, 6 boards, and 4 assists. But the Hawks bringing the noise inside.
Naz Mohammed, and then you got Sharif in transition, running the floor, and the finish.
But the story here, my Peja keeps blowing up. Peja Stojakovic shooting 54% from 3 in his last 8 games.
Playing extremely well, the hottest team in basketball right now.
Meanwhile, how about the Knicks beating the Mavericks? The Mavericks haven't won in New York since November of 1990. This is just the 9th time they've trailed at half this season.
Hey, Kevin, Stojakovic is getting ready for the long-distance shootout during All-Star Weekend. The opponents probably don't like seeing him knock down all those threes. Here's a look at our game track as we follow what is Michael Jordan's night. Although thus far, the night has belonged to the Chicago Bulls because they have the lead. Donyell Marshall with 7 points. Jordan, just a deuce coming out. But as the Chicago Bulls well know, even Michael Jordan closing in on 40 can drop a whole bunch on you in a hurry.
He told me earlier this year that he still gets butterflies before the game, so you let those wear off a little bit, he settles down, those shots will drop for him.
Michelle, have they settled down in the Wizards huddle?
Well, certainly Doug Collins keeps asking them to settle down, and this time focusing on defense. They're on offense right now. He's fairly happy with that, John. But on defense is where he's asking them to communicate better, listen to one another, and he particularly directed that to Tyronn Lue and Kwame Brown.
Tyronn Lue in at the point guard right now. Kwame Brown, who started the season as a starter and has lost a lot of time. Pfizer's shot no good. Curry strong with the rebound. Jalen Rose had an open look, drives down, loses the handle, out of bounds, belongs to the Wizards.
Michael's still around trying to swap balls. He just has those quick hands with those long arms and that great anticipation. It's extremely difficult to get a shot over him. Imagine when he was 5 years younger when he used to move his feet.
Jalen Rose is 1 of 7 from the field. That tells you a little bit about something about whether he still plays defense. Tyronn Lue, open look is no good. Kwame Brown had the rebound. Pfizer just takes it away from him.
That's where Kwame Brown's going to have to get stronger in the upper body area so he can rip those boards down.
Eddie Robinson's shot is no good. Brown gets the rebound this time. Lue with a quick push. Waits till he sees a little more blue on the floor before he goes to work and finds Stackhouse.
Yeah, numbers weren't quite in his favor.
Kwame Brown gets Curry in the air, and that's a move that probably last year that Kwame Brown would not have known. That's not a high school move. That's an NBA move. Get the guy in the air and lean in.
Exactly. That's an old vet move. Get a man up in the air, throw your body into him, and like you said, probably last year, here he is doing a great job. A little step back. That up fake, Curry bites on it, and you know, if you're a rookie, what you tend to do is fade away just trying to get your shot off. That time, Kwame Brown recognizes it's an opportunity for him to get to the free throw line.
Kwame Brown loves playing against Chicago, averaging a double-double, and in the first meeting here this year, 20 points and 12 rebounds. Do you think that it's the whole high school there? Who's the best high school player to come out that year? Robinson takes it right at Jordan and Lue and scores. He's long. Eddie Robinson's got the long arms. I've liked him since he came into the league.
And he's another guy who has that crazy athletic ability. You saw what he did in Atlanta the other night at the end of the game where he threw that alley-oop to himself and dunked it. I mean, he took off from deep.
Lue along the baseline finds Oakley to Kwame Brown. He drops down a jumper.
Nice ball movement by the Wizards. Several people are touching the basketball before the shot goes up.
You almost get the feeling here tonight like the fans that are in here, 22,000 plus, like they're not sure what they should be doing other than cheering for Michael Jordan. Curry with a strong finish.
Curry doing a great job of sealing his man along the baseline. Great bounce pass, better finish.
He has 6. Lue down to Jordan. Jalen Rose on his back. Backs him in. Oakley tries to clear some space for him. Little too strong off the back iron, and then a foul on the floor. Looks like it's going to go against Eddie Curry.
And here's Michael. This is Michael just being clever. He knows he's not going to beat Jalen Rose with his quickness, but with his know-how. Able to step through the gap there, still able to get his shot off. And he still knows how to get shots. I mean, that's the sign of a scorer. When he has that athletic ability, no one can keep him from getting his shot off. Even the guys that played defense against him the best.
Kwame Brown turns around, fouled by Fizer, and Eddie Curry's going to have to come out of the game, and this is one of the problems that the young players sometimes have. He's picked up his third foul already.
Here's Jalen battling Michael, fighting off screens, and this will tire you out. And we've talked about the rules of defense plenty of times where you must see ball and man. Well, often the case with Michael, rules don't apply here. If you want to face guard him, go ahead and face guard him and keep him from getting the basketball. John, we used to play a game on the team bus when I was in San Antonio, and we would come up with these hypothetical situations. If you had an opportunity, if you were a general manager, you're drafting a player, if you had a guy to take the last shot in the game, if you wanted to shut down the opponent's leading scorer, who would you pick? And ultimately, in that game, we had to exclude one guy because he was the answer to every question. And that tells you how brilliant Michael Jordan was.
Rose turns around, no good. Corey Blunt, who just checked into the game, saves the rebound. Brunson and Lou collide, and Lou got the most of it. Then Blunt from the baseline, no good. Another rebound almost hauled in by Robinson, but finally Tyronn Lue comes up with it, now trying to find Kwame Brown as the Bulls get aggressive defensively. Larry Hughes down to Brown. Blunt is there guarding him. Shot clock down to 7, and Blunt aggressively goes after the block, and Kwame Brown will go to the free throw line.
Got to go a little bit stronger to the bucket, especially against a vet.
Bill Cartwright trying to shut down his former teammate, and the Bulls are down by 1.
What do you call a sports sedan? That's more sports than sedan. The all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6.
Lance, what's the story?
Hey, Dan, sorry. Thought everybody left for the night.
Can I get you an energy bar? How about some water?
No, man, I'm okay.
You good?
Thanks.
All right.
It was a perfect end to a perfect season. Now, Sports Illustrated honors the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes with a fantastic national championship package, free with your paid subscription. Start out with this special Sports Illustrated National Championship hardbound collector's issue. It's a celebration of Ohio State football, a great way to remember the Buckeyes' run to #1. It's gold-lettered and individually numbered, a cherished keepsake you'll treasure forever. Call now and you'll also get this collectible football designed exclusively for Sports Illustrated in celebration of Ohio State's first national championship since 1968. Both are free when you order 55 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.59 an issue. Save more than 50% off the cover price. When you use your credit card, you'll get another great gift, available only from Sports Illustrated. This Ohio State National Championship hat, free. Celebrate the #1 team in the nation with 3 great gifts from the nation's #1 sports magazine, Sports Illustrated.
Celtics and Nuggets, and the story here, Paul Pierce. No Antoine Walker, no problem, because remember, California knows how to party, Greg Anthony.
And he's having a huge game, feasting on the Denver Nuggets. I should say McNuggets, the way they're playing tonight defensively.
At half, it was Paul Pierce 28, Nuggets 29. Now it's 46-33. Unbelievable performance tonight, John.
Greg Anthony with the McNuggets on Denver there. And let's look at the Eastern Conference standings. First of all, Isaiah Thomas, what a job he has done at the start of the year. But you look down at the bottom right now, and with Philadelphia struggling and Orlando without Grant Hill, you're not really sure what team you get from one night to the next. This Washington team is poised and in position, obviously, to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and they've struggled of late. I mean, they at one point, I believe they were in the 6th spot.
Yep.
And I would expect them to finish a little bit higher. Michael's continuing to look good. He's had a couple high-scoring games. I would expect them to finish 5th or 6th. I mean, at one point, people were talking about them possibly securing that 4th spot.
In the East, you're not really sure exactly what to expect.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen.
Kwame Brown with the foul, and Washington, Charles Oakley, Michelle, he feels that this is a team that should be playing the postseason.
He told me before the game, we are definitely a playoff team. We just need everyone to learn their roles, and the young players have to come with attitude every night. He said young guys don't know how to be hungry. They don't know what it takes to be hungry every single night. Would you agree, Sean?
I would agree 1,000%. We talked about it before the game. You're just, right now you're handing a lot of young players in this league the keys to the car, and they haven't earned it yet. And you have a lot of guys out there that are trying to teach younger players how to play. Whenever we go around to different teams, the older vets are saying, hey, it's hard to get the young guys to listen. They step in the league right now, and they act like they know it all. But, they're unwilling to accept coaching. You have to have a ton of patience with them, but at the same time, you got to drill it into them, some kind of work ethic.
Ron Lou with a great job just to beat the shot clock. Now, Charles Oakley has, over the last 3 or 4 years, been one of the most vocal people in the league, talking about how the young players, many of them, not all of them, but a lot of them come into the league not exactly prepared on how the game is played at this level.
Exactly. They're getting by right now because they're playing in high school. They're getting by with talent, and they don't need the fundamentals to dominate. But once they get up to this league where they're playing against men that know how to play, if you don't have the fundamentals, you're going to get killed.
The defensive 3-second call. So it's a technical. It went against Charles Oakley. He wasn't quite close enough to someone. What's coming up this week and next in the NBA on Sunday on ESPN, it is the Trailblazers and the Mavericks. And Dallas seems to have gotten it going once again. You saw the win over Philadelphia last night. Then Wednesday on ESPN, it's the Mavs and the Rockets. Yao Ming, another chance to look at him. Thursday on TNT, Timberwolves, Mavs, and the Kings and the Sonics. It's all Mavs all the time next week. It's a fun team to watch.
They are fun. They should be on a lot, along with Sacramento. In Sacramento, I would pay admission to see them play. Just play the game the way it's supposed to be played. They move the basketball. If you're open, you get the ball.
Ron Lou backs it out this time as Leitner comes over to set the screen. Now Leitner's open. Jump shot, a little bit short. Corey Blunt with the rebound. Brunson weaves his way around Stackhouse. Robinson. I love watching this kid play. I mean, he will just fly with the long arms and find a way to get to the goal.
He's one of those players that when he jumps, he looks like he's jumping off the trampoline, but there's not one there. I mean, he doesn't need all that stuff. The mascots need his legs.
Exactly. Stackhouse now. Shot clock again under 10. Stackhouse trying to work. Robinson was there. Brunson as well. Robinson reaches in and he picks up the foul, and I'm not sure that Coach Bill Cartwright agrees with that call.
That's just Stackhouse creating something. I thought he had a shot. He brought the ball into Robinson and he created the contact. That's what I love about Jerry Stackhouse. If he doesn't have it going from the outside, he can definitely get it going because he's going to go to the bucket. Here he is. He's forcing this action. He's taking it at Robinson, creating the contact. He's getting himself to the free throw line.
Drops them both down and gets us back to an even game at 32 apiece. About 6.5 to go here in the first half. Brunson now weaving his way up the floor. Blunt comes to the ball, drops it down to Jalen Rose. Rose trying to create something, but Kwame Brown was there. Hughes as well gets it back, no good. Blunt with the rebound. Drops it into Rose, who gets fouled and gets it on the iron and won't stay down.
He didn't see that shot or that block coming. Brown came out of nowhere to block that shot. First off, Larry Hughes is tough enough to get the shot over. He goes for it. Larry Hughes comes up with that block. It looked like Kwame Brown from our angle, but Larry Hughes, the athlete and that length, get into that shot.
Jalen Rose has been struggling a little bit tonight. 1 of 10 from the field.
Larry Hughes has that ability, John, and that's what you try to get through to young players. I remember my first year in the league, Larry Brown told me, why don't you use that ability that you have on the offensive end, use it on the defensive end as well. And it just makes sense. You have a guy like Larry Hughes who's got a 100-inch vertical, I mean, he's got long arms. He has a great feel for the game. How come he can't be a great defender?
Not as much fun is probably what young players will tell you.
Exactly. It doesn't bring you it doesn't put you on the highlight film, and you don't get paid for playing defense. At least that's the perception.
Shot clock's at 2. Hughes has to go to work. Scoops it, and no, 24-second violation. And that was waved off before it even missed the iron, so he did not get the shot off in time. Doug Collins has some choice words, doesn't agree. Michael Jordan, it's his night. Looking right now, he'll be back soon enough.
All new, 220 horses, and one more thing. The all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6.
Hey, say I'm a company, any size. Big, small, pequito, grande. And you are IP Telephony. This is how some communications companies want me to get to you. Let's see how it works in the state of Avaya. Here, you migrate your way to IP Telephony. You can go lightning fast, or you can go really slow. You can start for about the price of a standard PBX upgrade. Say what? Reach Avaya, a higher plane of communication.
While we were away, the Chicago Bulls showing a lot of class, as well they should, to this man. Ran this video tribute, and everyone, including Michelle, Sean, and myself, you're mesmerized. You look at the screen, and you remember every moment.
Man, all I can say is people forget. They forget how great Michael was. They want to anoint a new guy the star. I mean, Michael set the bar so high, John. He came out every night. He gave it his best. I still look at those highlights, and I still get goosebumps.
Yeah, there's little question that regardless of what happens in the rest of the history of the NBA, those of you who had a chance to watch Michael Jordan, both in his peak and, yes, even this year as he fades out into the sunset, you're just privileged to have known that you've watched greatness. It doesn't matter whether it's basketball or any other venture in life, you can appreciate greatness.
You're a part of history. You get to, I got to play against Michael plenty of times. I guarded him a whole lot of times, probably more often than I would have liked to, because he'd blow you up in a hurry. I mean, for him to put up 15 or 20 on a quarter of you, on you wasn't unusual.
At least you're honest. Clock is at 3 now. Brunson into Robinson, into the corner, and he buries a 3.
Robinson showing us his entire package tonight. Showing you that athletic ability on the break, then he's going outside and knocking down threes.
Tyronn Lue around the screen set by Jordan, tries to lose Brunson. Laettner now. Jordan coming off the baseline. Brunson really being aggressive and goes up and a little too aggressive that time. And he picks up the foul. Brunson is one of those guys who's very, very aggressive. Sometimes he'll get a call against him because of that.
Yeah, but you're not going to get that call tonight. Let's be realistic.
Good point.
Michael might get every call tonight. He ought to just shoot the ball every time he touches it and just take it to the basket. Every opportunity he gets, he might get every call.
If someone was in the vicinity, it's got to be a foul. The Bulls were on a 10-2 run before Jordan dropped in that free throw. Comes up short with the second one, but the rebound comes right to him.
I thought I was passing out. I was seeing all these flashes. Seeing all these white flashes, all these people taking pictures of Michael on the free throw line.
Another foul on the reach in as Kwame Brown almost had the handle on the ball, and they say advantage gained as he reached for it, swatted away. So Kwame Brown goes to the line again. Fred Hoiberg picked up the foul. Kwame's making a living at the line tonight.
As he should. A big man with that kind of body. You know, if he figures it out, if he listens to that coaching staff, he figures it out, you know, he's going to be a guy who has the ability to dominate.
He certainly has the tools. That was his 8th free throw. Pass from Brunson down to Donyell Marshall, knocked out of bounds, but last touch by the Wizards, so it'll belong to Chicago with 16 on the shot clock.
That was a good call. I did not make that call.
Brunson trying to find Donyell Marshall. Finally, Hoiberg. Robinson gives it back to Hoiberg. Down to Corey Blunt. Swings it at Haywood and loses it. And Jordan comes out of there with the steal. Oh, and then the pass down to Lou to Kwame Brown. Kwame too strong with it. And now Brunson wants to run. And Robinson with the long arms. A little finger roll.
And he just caught that ball and elevated. As soon as he caught it, he went up with it. Looked like he jumped off a springboard. I was surprised he didn't dunk that. But Kwame Brown on the opposite end, he's got to finish that play. He's got to dunk that ball.
Jordan now working on a Robinson. Shoots over him. Comes up short. Hoiberg with the rebound.
Robinson has those long arms. Tough to get your shot up.
Robinson is one of those guys who makes the game look easy. He's just got the body and he's just got the style. It looks like it's effortless. That'll be goaltending against Brendan Haywood. Brunson count the deuce.
There's a step slow that time by Haywood, but he's in the right place.
Brunson has 4 points and 4 assists to go with it. As I mentioned, he's been injured throughout the entire season. This just his 4th game back, and it would be on Michael's night. They lead by 7.
Here comes the Thunder.
That's what I'm talking about, right there. Two-hand reverse. Oh, get him. Oh, yeah. Oh, did he take off on 1 foot? Windmill, windmill. Dunk after dunk.
Slams it home.
Two-hander. He got that for me.
NBA Shootout 2003. Rated E for everyone.
What do you care? You've got the goodness of Reese's peanut butter and milk chocolate. Get lost in a Reese's. Is razor burn ruining your morning? The Extreme 3 from Schick balances 3 blades on a central pivot for a close, comfortable shave. The Extreme 3. Get close, not burned.
Who does your taxes? Are they done right? Brad Saylor, Chris Nelson, and Michael Yim took the free H&R Block Double Check Challenge and got more back. An average of $1,300. See if we can find you more.
Coming up at the half on the 1-800-CALL-ATT halftime report, I'll be joined by Greg Anthony, and we will talk live with the guy who arguably is Michael's coach. When you say Michael's coach, only one name pops out. That's Phil Jackson. He helped Michael build the dynasty. That was the Bulls, and he was honored in 1999. His name in the rafters at the United Center. Meanwhile, let's head back where Michelle Tafoya has a very special guest.
Yeah, and I am surrounded, Kevin, because a lot of people not only came out to see Michael Jordan, but they're seeing the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who's here for this game. What did it mean to you to be here tonight?
Genuine schizophrenia, pulling for the Bulls to win and Michael to shoot 50. But it's such a joy, you know. I watched Michael the time he was in college and got to know him real well while here. And to think that Michael is yet so humble in many ways, one of the most phenomenal athletes in the history of the world. I mean, right up there with Ali is Michael Jordan. I mean, living legend is an expression overextended, but it's Michael Jordan. And tonight, the ovation he got was a real powerful tearjerker.
And he's meant a lot to this league and to the African-American community, hasn't he?
Oh, to be sure. I mean, I think basketball, General, he, right behind Magic and then Jabbar, Michael took the game to another level. Many players imitated his dress, his style, his sense of dignity on the court, and his sense of grace. He never lost that sense of dignity, made him a gentleman as a basketball player. And then, so beyond his art on the court, Michael carried himself as a real gentleman and made the whole game better and lifted the standard, I thought.
Art on the court. Beautifully said. Reverend Jesse Jackson, thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, John.
Yeah, Michelle, I'm very fortunate. Next week we're going to tape a show at Howard University in Washington called Seasons of Change, the African-American Athlete, and the Reverend Jesse Jackson will be part of our panel, so look for that coming up in the month of February on ESPN.
But what he said was so correct. That Michael carried himself with so much grace and dignity, and he was by far the best player in the league. You just don't find that nowadays. He wasn't the king of self-promotion. He let his game do the talking.
Jerry Stackhouse with a great drive because needed by Washington's 16-4 run before that. As the Bulls, again, I'll say it, a very, very strange crowd here. It's all as if people are here for one reason. Brunson carries the shot and then lets everybody else know about it.
Well, they all are, they're still winded from the ovation. Standing up clapping for 3 minutes. They should have allowed the juice out of them.
They should have allowed two crowds of 22,000, right? Let's get the second group come in to make it through the game. Stackhouse now with 7 on the clock, drives into a crowd. Kwame Brown uses the glass, no good. Haywood is there trying to clear some space. He goes up and gets fouled by Donyell Marshall.
And that was a tremendous effort by all three involved. Haywood, Jerry Stackhouse, and Kwame Brown. All of them went hard to the bucket. I mean, Jerry Stackhouse started it off penetrating, drawing that defense in. He dropped it off to Kwame Brown, who went up strong with the shot, didn't get it to fall, and Haywood was there to collect the mess, and he went up strong as well. Nice possession for the Wizards.
Brunson now picked up by Larry Hughes. Hoiberg is open and waits for the ball. Three-pointer, you can't lose that guy out there. That's what he does, is shoot. Robinson continues to have a terrific night. He's got 13, and again, it's effortless.
Eddie Robinson believes it's his night. Hitting shots from the corner, getting offensive rebounds, putbacks.
Has he heard of number 23, Eddie Robinson? Does he realize it's supposed to be Michael's night?
Right.
Kwame Brown goes in, not strong enough, loses the handle. A little bit too far away from the hoop to get a clear flush.
Right.
Donyell Marshall fighting to get open. Swings it at Haywood, goes up, nice little jump hook, it's good.
Beautiful footwork that time by Donyell Marshall. Catches the ball outside the lane, gives you a nice reverse pivot, gets himself in the lane, sets himself up with that right jump hook. You can't get to it because he's so long.
Stackhouse and Hoiberg with a quick hand stripped it and almost able to save it as well. Still belonged to Washington, but no change on the clock, so 12 seconds left on the possession. Hoiberg puts in some good minutes and goes out.
Sacrificing his body.
Bulls bench has been terrific with 27 points. And they average about 10 more points per game. The Bulls bench then does the opposition. Stackhouse gets fouled by Jalen Rose and drops it in. Chance for a three-point play.
That's just strength. When you get up in the air, you can get hit, you get knocked around, and you still have the upper body strength and the balance to put up a soft jumper. Here's Stackhouse working off the screen. 2 dribbles. Hardest thing to do is to put the ball on the floor a couple times, go up with it. That's a guy you can tell who's worked on this game.
Stack with the free throw now with 13 points. Jalen Rose has Jordan on him, thinks better of it, and finds Brunson. Shot clock is at 8 now. Rose down to Blunt. Decides to shoot over Kwame Brown and does.
Blunt's another guy who has athletic ability.
Stackhouse to Kwame Brown on the floor, off the glass, and good.
See, Kwame's got that soft touch in the lane. There's no question about it. I'd just like to see him finish with more power, intimidate people. Look what the young player's doing in Phoenix. Amari Stoudemire, he's getting the ball anywhere around the bucket. He's putting it in people's mouths, in their face, whatever he has to do. He's putting balls in people's jerseys. He's ducking it so hard. And Kwame Brown has that same kind of ability. You'd like to see a guy who can come out and intimidate people. You know, put that ball down with authority. Next time, guess what happens? You get a step in the lane, people are backing off. Makes your job a lot easier.
At 18, 19 years of age, it is not necessarily a choice whether or not you're the intimidator or the intimidate. You know, it depends on your personality, and sometimes it's going to take a little time. And for Kwame Brown, it looks like it will take a little bit of time.
He still has a world of potential. You know, so he still has that kind of ability.
Full substitution.
Jamal Crawford coming back in. And the Bulls have not shot a lot of free throws in this game.
They've been taking a lot of outside jumpers. They haven't been penetrating nearly as much as the Washington Wizards have. You have guys like Stackhouse, Michael. You know, they're penetrating, putting pressure on that defense. That's what gets you to the foul line.
Shot clock and game clock are just about dead even, maybe a half a second apart. So Washington is going to spread the floor and play down for a final shot. I hope to pull a little closer than the 9 points they stand at right now. Teron Lue sees an opening, throws it up. Larry Hughes had it, and then misses the next shot, and time expires. And quite a difference in this trip. Washington into Chicago. They beat them here earlier in January, 107-82. You look at the leading scorers, Jerry Stackhouse with 13, Eddie Robinson with 13 coming off the bench for the Chicago Bulls. Michelle is standing by with Jalen Rose.
Indeed I am, John. Even with you struggling a little bit in this first half, Jalen, you guys have a lead on the Bulls. How have you been able to do it? What do you want to carry into the second half?
Well, we just got to get multiple efforts and play defense. We know they're going to come out in the third quarter. They're going to be revving to play hard, and we just got to match their intensity.
Jordan got the expected 3-minute ovation before the game. This crowd seems to not know which team they really want to cheer for right now. How have you guys mentally prepared for tonight?
Well, we mature enough to understand he's the best that ever done it. He got a statue in front of the building, so it comes with the territory. But at the end of the day, we just want to come out on top with a victory.
Jalen, thanks.
Thank you.
John, back to you.
Yeah, Michelle makes a great point. When you show up for work and there's a statue of someone outside the building and you're playing against them, you recognize something. Coming up, the 1-800-CALL-ATT halftime report. Kevin Frazier and Greg Anthony will be along to let you know what else is going on around the NBA as we continue on Michael Jordan's night here in Chicago. It's been magical already. Don't go away. It promises to get even better.
It's a Super San Diego Roadshow, and it's only on ESPN Classic. All day Saturday, the greatest NFL championships from the beginning. Then we're live in San Diego with Emmitt Smith and other NFL legends as they count down to this year's big game. It's a full day of NFL championships plus the San Diego Roadshow. Live starting at 4 Eastern Saturday on ESPN Classic. Presented by The Element from Honda. Go with it. And brought to you locally by Cox Communications. Get ESPN Classic. Call your cable or satellite provider now.
What do you call a sports sedan? That's more sports than sedan. The all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6.
You gelling? No telling how much I'm gelling. You gelling? You know I'm gelling. Hey, Ellen, you gelling?
I'm gelling like a felon. You want some melon?
Nah, but hey, I'm like mud gelling. I'm so gelling.
Nice.
Are you gelling yet? Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles are made from the softest gel ever created. If you and your shoes don't feel outrageously comfortable, you get your money back. Guaranteed.
I'm gelling.
You're not gelling. You're so not gelling.
Are you gelling yet? Dr. Scholl's. Look, feel, do better.
Airport?
Yes.
Well, my name is Jim.
I just love the smell of your limo, Jim.
Oh yeah, well it's a new car.
I love that new car smell.
Yeah, I wish it was mine.
It smells so good, Jim, this leather.
Here we are.
How many put the polo match too?
shape this year, and he wants to do that for the club. And you know, he's an owner in this organization. He's really the motivator in this Wizards group, and they've come a long way. They're now a competitive, good basketball team. They were really not there about 2 years ago before Michael got really invested in this ball club.
Coach Jackson, Greg Anthony, how you doing?
Hey, Greg.
Listen, actually, you're right. The Wizards have a better record than the Lakers do right now, so that's something to take note of.
Rub it in.
No, but in all seriousness, you know, thinking back to your first championship, if you can remember back that far after having won 9, what do you think you learned from Michael Jordan as a player that you utilize in your coaching philosophy to this day?
Well, the key about Michael is that, you know, he had his opportunities early in his career. With the first 4 or 5 years he's in the league to shoot 35, 45 times, score 40, 50 points in a basketball game, and found that no matter how great he played, there were a lot of nights he couldn't overcome another team. It was a team game, and the supporting act had to come from 5 guys. And he had to share the ball, and he had to find a way to incorporate his great individual game in a team game. And even into the last game of that championship, the first one that we've got against the Lakers at the Forum, you know, I had to encourage Michael, penetrate, pitch to Paxson. He's going to be wide open. All they're concerned about is that Jordan's going to try and score. He's going to want to win the championship so bad. He's going to try and do everything, show them that you can pass the ball and move it ahead. And I think Paxson had 7 jump shots off Jordan passes, off just middle penetration and easy dishes. And that's what Michael really learned, is how to play in a system and provide the leadership for a ball club, not only through his scoring and his intense drive, but also through his distributorship of the ball.
In many ways, you and Michael so similar. Do you miss the connection with him?
A lot. In fact, I've solicited his help, here with the Lakers. The first year I was here, he was out of basketball. Just having him come in, talk to Kobe a little bit about playing the guard position in this triangle offense, and how it can be frustrating because it can be a lot about spacing, and there's not a lot of room for individual showmanship or room or scoring, and just allowing the game to kind of be played at a level where it's more passing and movement than dribble and scoring. And Michael just has a great feel for basketball, great feel for fundamentals of basketball.
And because of that, Coach, do you ever think there's a chance that no matter what the venture, of you and Michael reuniting at some point?
I don't know how we do it. I mean, Doug's a great coach for him to just re-establish the kind of direction and energy and tension that a team has to have to get back in a winning form, and Washington's kind of got that back, and Doug's a good drive kind of guy. He puts a lot of intensity into it. I don't see myself coming back and dealing with Michael as in a coach-ownership relationship.
All right, Phil, enough about Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Let's talk about you and the Lakers right now. Now, this past summer, I'm sure as you do each offseason, you evaluate your talent and try to determine whether or not you have enough horses to go out and try and win a championship. This past offseason, did you feel coming into the season you had what you needed to win a championship this year?
Well, we knew we were going to be playing at a third-year deficit, almost a season of playoff games under your belt when you play all those playoff games in 3 full seasons of playoffs. We knew that we were going to be worn and torn by that also, but the biggest key was health and well-being of our players. If we physically get them back on the court, obviously the first couple months, the youth and energy of young players on the court will kind of burn up, and by January and February, the experience and leadership of veteran players are going to win, and that's what we thought we could do. And we're a little bit late on the draw right now, but we're starting to return to form.
That's great. Hey, one more question. You coached Michael Jordan, the greatest player of that era, in his prime, won all those championships. Mm-hmm. Now you're coaching Shaquille O'Neal, and no disrespect to Kobe Bryant, but he's the most dominant player of this era. If you had to start a team today and pick one, who do you take, Shaq or MJ?
I think you pick a center. I think any general manager would pick a center, but I would pick Michael Jordan because I know the relationship with him. But you talk to any general manager, what are you going to start your team from? You're going to start it from the middle and then go to your point guards. And there hasn't been any club that's ever won championships with a 2-guard as a dominant player until Michael came along.
Hey, Phil, what is if you had to think back, the defining moment, either public or private, with Michael Jordan?
Well, I think it was when, I first told him what I was going to run as an offense. He came in and I said, we're going to run a system. You had a system in North Carolina. It's non-motion like you had there. It's more of a, of an overload system. It's a triangle. He said, you mean that equal opportunity system that, Tex kind of espouses, Tex Winter I was referring to? And I said, yeah. I said, I think that more guys have to be involved with the basketball. He said, what if Bill Cartwright ends up with the basketball and the clock's running down in the 24-second clock? And I said, well, we're going to have to teach him the fundamentals of how to get the ball to you so that you could score at the end of that 24-second clock. Yeah. And he laughed about it, and we went on and won.
Yeah, and it worked out very well. You know what's interesting, though, Coach? 3 years since you've won the Coach of the Year award, and last year you didn't get a single vote for Coach of the Year. Deep down inside, does that bother you?
Not at all. The Coach of the Year is really who wins the playoffs. I mean, that's, guys working 9 months instead of 6 months. It's that extra 2 months that you have to put in there to win that championship that makes a difference in your coaching career, and it gives you established, credibility. But there are a lot of guys that have to put in so much effort in the course of a year to get their team to win, that sometimes they deserve awards like Coach of the Year. The year that we won 67 here in LA, Doc Rivers won Coach of the Year and had a 500 team. He deserved that because as much work as it took for that team to win those games, 41 basketball games, was probably more than I had to put into this coaching of this team to win 67.
But I think you deserved one vote.
Well, yeah, probably one vote. But
can you get
our
one?
writers here in LA, they will never vote for me anyway. We can't even get a local writer to do that.
A lot of love from the local writers. Yeah. Coach Jackson, thanks for taking so much time to talk with us on this special night for Michael, one of the great basketball minds in the NBA. Phil Jackson, you will see his Lakers tonight as they take on the Nets, a rematch of that game from earlier in the year. Michael Jordan, the first half, slow, but it wasn't about the points or what he did on the court. It was about the reception by those fans who love him. Second half on the way.
This halftime report is presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. It's free for you and cheap for them.
Word has it someone here's trying to make a collect call. Calm down, people. All you gotta do is dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you, cheap for them. What do you say we get up out here and go hit a disco? Or not.
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Are you a real fan? Want to see the replay? Want to be courtside? Have you ever been in a locker room? Need a photo? Need a score? When is game time? Did you catch that? Looking for some stuff? Then log on to NBA.com and check out all your favorite NBA apparel. To shop, log on to NBA.com or America Online keyword NBA.com. What are you doing? Experience the NBA online. NBA.com.
IBM NetVista. Real people, not actors. Excuse me. Come on, I want to show you some computers.
This is the NetVista.
Beautiful design. This monitor is gorgeous.
So what is this about? I have too many people looking at me. I could see that on my desk. Have you ever lost any data?
Hasn't everybody lost data at some point?
All these computers can use Rapid Restore, which is a one-touch button that lets you go back to the last time the computer saved. I lost my computer to virus. That's not a very good thing.
What about security?
In this day and age, security is just it's a big issue. Well, IBM offers a range of security options if you're worried about hackers online. That would be fantastic. I just can't afford it, probably. Actually, this NetVista desktop starts at just $599. It has an Intel Pentium 4 processor designed to run today's apps and tomorrow's. It also has Rapid Restore PC. Call for your Intel Pentium 4 processor-powered desktop and ask about volume discounts. The more you buy, the more you can save. And would you know how to buy an IBM? Probably go online. Can I have one?
Five points for Michael Jordan in the first half. There are two of them. Bulls lead this game 52-43. We'll see if Michael can bring the Wizards back. The game is next.
This halftime report is presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. It's free for you and cheap for them.
Yo, can I use your phone?
No, I'm cool, but that's cool.
That's my son.
Don't disrespect the man's house. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. Give me that. What are you doing? Yo, did you find it? You can save on every call. Just dial right down the center. 1-800-CALLATT.
It's free for you and cheap for them.
You're out of mayo.
What kind of place is this? You okay in there, man?
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Mr. Stevens? Yeah. Got you down for over 130 channels, $39.99 a month.
Right. So
Every channel's digital quality. There's access to 31 premium movie channels, 60 pay-per-view movie titles a month.
great. So that can go on the back of the roof?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good. So go ahead and pull around back.
You work for the cable company, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why settle for cable? Switch to DirecTV and get over 130 channels, only $39.99 a month. Call 1-800-DirecTV or visit a participating retailer now.
My dad taught me 2 simple rules about car care. To take care of the engine, change the oil. To take care of the fuel system, add STP. When your dad is Richard Petty, you tend to listen.
The fans who showed up here in Chicago tonight expected more than just a basketball game. They expected to see the coronation of the king of all of basketball, Michael Jordan, and they got a taste before the game.
Thank you. It's truly been a pleasure. You guys have given me great pleasure to play here in the city of Chicago. I love y'all. Still support the Chicago Bulls. Thank you for support over the years. I love y'all. Thank you very much.
The fans appreciative of Michael Jordan. Then the game started. It was almost like they weren't sure what they were here for. And as a result, the Wizards got off to a slow start. So did the Bulls, but they start to pull away, shooting 51%. You see the free throws. Washington getting to the line a lot more, but the Bulls doing a much better job all along the line, and their bench has been good all year, Sean.
Bulls bench.
Ready to get underway here in the second half. Michelle Tafoya, I imagine it was an unhappy group wearing blue.
Well, the first 2 words Doug Collins had coming out of the locker room were energy and passion. He said, we're playing in slow motion. We're sloppy in our execution. We had 2 second-quarter assists to their 9. He said the Bulls are just playing with more passion, and we're on our heels. Last thing, Johnny said, the execution is on me, but the energy and passion must come from my guys. John?
Yeah, Michelle, everyone standing around waiting for Michael Jordan on his night. Larry Hughes starts the Wizards off very nicely in the second half, dropping that from deep. You see Eddie Robinson, we talked about this at halftime. He just makes the game look fun to play and easy.
Well, there's people in the press room talking about Eddie Robinson, so they love him here.
Jalen Rose continues to struggle tonight. This is his first in the second half. He's now 1 of 11 from the field. Stackhouse working on Hassel, and Hassel gets a hand on the hip, and that's a foul.
And Hassel comes out. He's not quite in defensive position. Jerry Stackhouse, as soon as he catches the ball, he rips it through and goes along the baseline. He's a master at creating contact, getting fouled. That's why he's at the top every year in free throws attempted.
Finds a way to get to the line. Leitner turns it over. Ball on the floor. Jordan comes out of there with it. And they got a fresh shot clock on that one. I'm not sure there was actually a change of possession there.
Exactly. It's Michael's comeback.
That's right. Hughes looking for 2 in a row, comes up short, and it comes right into the hands of Hassel.
I'd like to see Larry Hughes hit that shot. He's the X factor, in my opinion, for the Washington Wizards because he has the ability to score a lot of points. He's been quietly having a great year, leads the team in rebounding at that point guard position, but he has the ability to score.
Gives it down to Stackhouse this time. He draws a crowd, puts it on the floor. Leitner is open, and Leitner knocks in the jumper.
I like Leitner with that little look off. He's looking to see if the defender's going to come over and contest that shot. No defender, he goes right up with the shot.
And he immediately went to Dick Bavetta. Something must have happened before the shot. There was clearly no foul there. But he had a few words for Dick Bavetta of what might have gone on before that. Shot clock is under 10, and the foul goes against Christian Leitner as he tried to stay with Tyson Chandler.
I guess going at Dick Bavetta didn't pay off.
It did for the Bulls. Crawford comes to the ball and takes it and finds Donyell Marshall. Jalen Rose still trying to get off. Finally gets one to go. Just his second field goal of the night. 2 of 12.
But when he's penetrating from that right side of the floor, it's easier for him to keep that ball away from the defender. We saw him in the first half. He tried to penetrate from the other side of the floor. Since he's a lefty, he brought that ball right back into Michael. This time he penetrates on the right side, throws that little lefty hook.
Leitner from almost the identical place he got the last field goal from and drops it in as well.
If you're going to leave Christian Leitner open, he's going to knock down the jumper. That guy's no slouch. He's out there because he's played consistent basketball. He knocks down open shots when he's asked to, and he plays solid defense. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
10,000 points and 5,000 rebounds. He reached both those milestones this year. Clock is down to 5 now. Comes right back to Crawford. He gets it up with the left hand, and it's good.
And you look at the Wizards' defense on that possession. How in the world does Crawford get all the way down the lane, fumbled the ball a little bit, still has enough time to put it up with his left hand? There's no help defense right now on the part of the Wizards. There's no sense of urgency.
Jordan from the baseline got swatted there, comes back out. Jordan 2 of 8 from the field, goes after the ball, and Jalen Rose, and the foul goes against Michael Jordan.
Yeah, even Michael's not going to get that call. That was a clear foul. But Jalen Rose here working on the right side of the court. When he comes, now he can throw that lefty hook. He can keep that ball away from Michael swatting down on it. And here's Crawford. Look at this. There's no one there. Haywood's standing in cement. Christian Leitner's late to get in the lane. Those are the kind of plays that when you go back and you look at them in film session, you're just embarrassed as a defender.
That's when you go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
Jalen Rose going to that left hand again. This one won't stay down. Daniel Marshall almost had the rebound. Stackhouse and Hughes now out in front. Stackhouse swings it to Larry Hughes. He's open. Jump shot is good.
And they still end up getting that shot up, but that's where you kind of miss a true point guard in the open floor, a guy who can direct the break. That break was poorly run.
Stackhouse now with 7 assists. He's pretty much running the point as well. Point forward, point shooting guard. Oh, from deep and outside. Hassel buries a 3.
Well, this is nice. At least we're getting some offense now. I mean, both teams, when they came out, looked a little nervous, tentative, because maybe the ovation, maybe it's Michael's night.
You can still be a general manager of your own NBA team. It's not too late to play NBA.com's virtual GM and win great weekly prizes. Good trying that. I haven't won yet. Stackhouse put it into a crowd and gets it back. Clock is at 6. Hassel, hand in his face. Leitner, open look at 3, and it's short. Good rebound by Haywood. Finds Hughes from the free throw line. Won't stay down. Leitner gets the rebound off the glass and gets fouled. And that is going to upset Bill Cartwright. Too many chances on the offensive glass.
You know, both teams right now aren't paying attention to detail. Both teams look like they've lost their focus. They're not helping each other out on defense. They're not rebounding the basketball. This is a game of errors right now. It's more errors than it is execution. It's the team that's going to make the least amount of errors is going to win this ball game. But right now, both teams are making a ton.
Leitner has 1 double-double this year, and that was in the second meeting with the Chicago Bulls. 2-0 record against them, including a 107-82 spanking here early this month. First game of the new year. Crawford, and Hughes is right there with him. Sweeps at the ball, can't get it. Tyson Chandler sets the screen, and Crawford uses it and drops it down.
Crawford can continue to come off screens and pop jumpers. It's going to force that big man to step up. Then you can run a proper pick and roll. When he comes off of that screen, a big man must step up to pick him up. Otherwise, he's going to shoot you into oblivion.
Jordan looking to drive, and Jalen Rose commits the foul. It's important, I would think, Sean, as well, as Washington is able to creep close. The closer they get, the last time they allowed the Bulls again with a three-pointer to pull away again. But against a young team, the closer you get, the tighter they get, I would think.
Well, absolutely. They're not nearly as loose and relaxed as veteran teams because the veteran teams have been through it before.
Leitner's shot no good, knocked out of bounds by the Bulls. Haywood doing a nice job on the glass, disrupting that time.
This game has had a weird flow to it, or I should say no flow. It's not like one team has really asserted themselves.
I agree with you 100%. Leitner again continues to try and get his offense going, does, and fouled by Donyell Marshall.
Leitner again, Mr. Consistency, guy getting it done on the perimeter. He missed a shot 2 or 3 possessions ago, but then he ends up at the end of the possession after a scramble, coming up with a loose ball and going up with it. You're talking about a guy who's brought his game today. Christian Leitner looks like he's focused.
12-6. There's a nice 1-2-3 draft that year, and Leitner and Alonzo Mourning ended up in a rap song by Shaq. But who was the #1 pick? It wasn't Christian Leitner, it wasn't Alonzo Mourning. Shaquille was 1, Mourning was 2, and Leitner was 3. Not a bad threesome there.
Not bad at all.
Chandler creates, throwing it up with one hand in a big crowd. Stackhouse with it now, down to Michael Jordan. Jordan working on Jalen Rose, takes him to the paint. Rose with the quick hands in the strip. Leitner again, working on the youngster. Swings it back to Jordan. Great pass to Haywood, who reverses.
You have to love playing with a guy who's going to get you the ball if you cut to the basket and you're open. There's just a crack of daylight this time. Michael, first off, working against Jalen Rose. Jalen with the great hands, slaps down on the basketball, but Michael continues to work and ultimately ends up with a brilliant pass to Haywood.
Haywood can't convert the three-point play. He shoots just 62% from the line. Rose, oh, everyone loses Jalen Rose. They close in a hurry. Crawford and Leitner says, wait a second, it went off him and out of bounds, but just the same, there's no foul. Still belongs to the Bulls with 10 on the shot clock.
Oh, Crawford did a tremendous job of taking what the defense gave him.
Jalen Rose jump shot is just not there tonight. Stackhouse right at Hassel, breaks him down. Looking for some help. Finds Leitner.
That's great open court defense by Hassel.
Leitner comes up shooting. The three won't stay in. Rims right out. And the Bulls, Jalen Rose with it.
Hassel did a tremendous job stopping Jerry Stackhouse in the open court. If you give any scorer in this league a run at you in the half court and it's one-on-one, most likely they're going to score.
Donyell Marshall fumbled it first and still drops it in. The Wizards just having a tough time getting closer. They get it down to 5 and then pops up to 7 or 8. Leitner with it now. Making him pay for the gamble. Takes it in hard. No call. Donyell Marshall wants to push it to Jalen Rose, who's not shy, even though it's not been his night, and nails the jumper.
No, he's not shy. He's the type of guy who will shoot himself into a rhythm.
Just 3 of 15 from the field now for Jalen Rose. But the Chicago Bulls have opened up a 9-point lead, trying to do it with defense. A lot of contact there, but the rookie, or rather the second-year player, gets away with it.
Homer, yes.
Nice.
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
It only bounced twice.
No, I pured it.
So what?
Okay?
It's a home run. No,
Yeah,
it's a
it didn't-
double.
No, it didn't even hit the back of the shelf.
You bounce it
That's Homer.
twice, it's a double. What are you talking about? I'm
Get-
talking about rules. Doesn't hit
Those
the back,
aren't the rules. You're
it's a
talking
double.
about making up the rules.
No,
okay?
I'm talking about, look, I play with shoes, you don't.
So
That's
what?
a rule.
I have a medical condition.
This is why no one wants to play with you. Why? Because I'm right and I'm better at it.
Take a nap.
Coffee? No, thanks. I think I'll get my own.
Perhaps he's compelled by the sumptuous aroma. Or does he desire the rich, luscious taste crafted in Europe? Maybe it's because he makes Javalia his way, delicious every time. To experience the pleasure of Javalia Cafe yourself, call 1-800-497-5279. We'll deliver 2 boxes of our fine European coffee, plus a thermal carafe coffee maker. We'll even include a stainless steel travel mug. If you enjoy Javalia, we'll send more whenever you like. 2 boxes of freshly sealed Javalia, the thermal coffee maker and mug, delivered to you for just $19.95 with no further obligation. Call 1-800-497-5279. Javalia Cafe. Always a pleasure to come home to.
Let's update you on the Kings and the Hawks, and Atlanta might be pulling off the upset. Team Rebate trying to check Chris Webber, can't do a thing with him. But how about Corey Benjamin making the most of his opportunity, Greg?
Athletic, just getting called up on the 10-day plan extremely well.
Jason Terry, 23 points and 13 assists. And Roro, 113 to 103. Team Rebate leads the Kings. Kobe Bryant arriving in the Staples Center, getting set for our second game. It's the Nets and Lakers. That finals rematch, and that's on the way after we're done in Chicago. John?
Yeah, Kevin, everybody hopes that it's not a rematch who live in New Jersey. They didn't like how it turned out last year. They hope that things are a little bit different on this night, but time is becoming a premium for the Lakers.
It really is. You keep expecting them to put on some kind of run. They've had a few good performances, and then you expect them to build on it, and nothing comes of it. It's really been a mystery. After they won that game at home against Dallas, they made that huge comeback. A lot of people figured they'd be back, and then I believe they went down a couple nights later and lose at Golden State, and they just lost at home to Golden State. And Golden State has almost an identical record with the Lakers and could make a case that they're a better team right now.
4.5 games out right now. The Lakers are the 8th and final playoff spot. But if they get there, look out. Jordan now trying to break down Hassel. Shot clock is at 3. Jordan gets it back. Skies in left hand. Vintage. And the crowd says, we've seen that several times.
Yeah, at least he gave us something to smile about tonight. There's so many brilliant moves in his career. He almost got desensitized to him.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that he was always great at, the changing of the hands in midair. Rose turns around, and that'll belong to the Wizards.
But, even that one move in the finals where he changes hands in there, here he is coming up with a loose ball, brings it around the shot blocker. Just a beautiful move. What can you say about that? But even the move in the finals where he switched hands in the air, I don't know if that's even my top 10 Michael Jordan moves.
Can't have a top 10. It's small.
Impossible.
It's too small. Loose ball foul. And the Bulls come up with it. Leitner wound up in the front row. He says, wait a second. How did I commit the foul? I'm the guy who ended up in the ladies' seat.
Leitner's just putting it all on the floor today. He's doing a great job hustling. Like I said, he looks like he's a focused player.
Washington, not a great three-point shooting team, but tonight they're 0 of 7 from outside the arc. Crawford now just inside it. And buries the jump shot and winds up on its backside. Was looking for a three-point play.
Yeah, Crawford, he's trying to earn big minutes. He's doing a terrific job playing that point spot. And he has the size and the body to be a force at that one spot.
Leitner again, as the Bulls haven't recognized that Christian Leitner has come out of the locker room and been the go-to guy right now for the Wizards.
Yeah, they're giving them wide open 15, 18-footers on the perimeter.
Leitner with 11 points in this third quarter alone.
Got that silky smooth jumper. And I tell you what, if Haywood doesn't foul Tyson Chandler puts that down with authority. There's a young, athletic, long player. Jalen Rose just threw that ball up near the top of the square, and Tyson Chandler did a great job of feeling the pressure of Haywood and spinning toward the bucket for the lob.
Donyell Marshall again with the long arms, works it around Haywood and in.
And you see Donyell Marshall move that ball in the air. When you have those long arms, you don't need a ton of hang time to be able to move the ball around and switch hands.
Saw how dominant the Bulls have been in the paint tonight. Jordan now swings his way, makes Jalen Rose. Oh my, that needed to go down because that was another one of the old Jordan that made Jalen Rose go one way, wind up with a broken ankle.
Yeah, well, Crawford scores the bucket, but if Michael had scored that bucket, Jalen Rose, he's laughing about it right now with Michael right next to him. But he was staring at the front row. He had no idea where Michael went.
Crawford having a good third quarter as well. He's got 8 of his 11 points in this quarter. Hassel commits the foul. That's his third, and we've got a timeout on the floor. Michael Jordan giving this crowd just a little taste of what they saw here for 13 years and 6 titles.
Mr. Stevens?
Yeah.
Got you down for over 130 channels, $39.99 a month.
Right, so...
Every channel's digital quality. There's access to 31 premium movie channels, 60 pay-per-view movie titles a month.
Great. So that can go on the back of the roof?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good. So go ahead and pull around back.
You work for the cable company, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why settle for cable? Switch to DirecTV and get over 130 channels, only $39.99 a month. Call 1-800-DirecTV or visit a participating retailer now.
Pizza Hut announces new stuffed crust gold. The pizza with a ring of cheese baked inside the crust now has zesty cheddar cheese around the outer rim for a toasted crunch. Get a stuffed crust pizza for $9.99 or go for the gold for $1 more. Stuffed crust gold, new at Pizza Hut.
This is just some crazy vendetta.
Rated M for mature.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Friday, brought to you by DirecTV. Movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment.
Let's check in on more action from the association. Knicks trying to make a statement against Dallas, but then they were hit like kryptonite with the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Dallas again, the big three, Nowitzki, Finley, and Nash, just too much down the stretch.
Once again, the Knicks crumble in the fourth, and that's strudel, straight strudel from Dirk Nowitzki. 101-90 with just seconds left. Jason Kidd, 41 points last night against the Warriors. Up at home in Oakland tonight, he heads down to L.A. Nets and Lakers are next. John?
Yeah, big time rematch of last year's NBA championship. The Lakers won their third in a row. Jason Kidd thinks that this team is a little bit better team than it was last year when they made that run. Michael Jordan is 3 of 11 from the field, but we have seen some of the repertoire tonight.
Some flashes of brilliance on that last move where he threw that little head fake, and he was the first guy that I saw throwing that head fake. Now you see all kinds of guys incorporating that into their game.
Michelle, at the beginning of the season, didn't Doug Collins and Michael Jordan say he'd play about 22, 23 minutes a game?
Yeah, and didn't the two of you say that'll last about a week? Well, you know, he's talked about his minutes per game today. Earlier, I asked him, because he's playing more now than he did his last 2 seasons with the Bulls. He said they're different types of minutes. I used to play more demanding minutes with the ball in my hand and creating so much, but now I'm the facilitator, getting the ball to other people, not the hard-working minutes I used to play. So he's able to stay out there longer, in his opinion.
Well, it's worked out pretty nicely for the Bulls. I mean, rather for the Wizards this year. He's averaging about 18 points a game now. Leitner down to Stackhouse, who gets swatted by Crawford, but the foul is there. As Washington tries to whittle into this double-digit lead. But again, the minutes for Michael Jordan this year, it's up to about 35 minutes a game. And you see 96, 97, 97, 98 when they won the last 2 championships. He's not too far beyond that.
And what Michelle said is correct. I mean, when he was playing big minutes in his championship years, he was asked to carry so much of the load. Not only did he have to score 30-plus points a game and set his teammates up, but he was also the defensive stopper. He was the guy who was taking the other 2-guard or 3-man completely out of the game, and that takes so much energy out of you.
Which is one of the more amazing things about Jordan, is that at the same time as he was the best offensive player in the league, he was the best defensive player as well, which is extremely difficult to do.
People forget that, how dominating he was on the defensive end. He could completely take your best player, if he was a perimeter player, out of the game.
Kleiser comes up empty. He's played well of late for the Bulls. Stackhouse working on Hassel, loses it. It comes to Tyronn Lue. Leitner calling for the ball. He's got a mismatch down there with Brunson. Brunson pushes him away, and a loose shot won't stay down. Fizer with the rebound.
You said they're not a great three-point shooting team. If you look at that squad for the Washington Wizards, they don't have a lot of pure shooters out there. Look at Big Bill.
Yes, Bill Wennington, of course, one of the all-time great Canadian basketball players.
And you know what? He had athletic ability.
Oh, yeah. Really.
Big Bill was no slouch, man. He was not a stiff.
He's got himself a mitt full of rings as well. Jalen Rose, offensive foul as he tried to glide his way in.
Offensive foul, Jalen Rose.
Bill Wennington, of course, one of the announcers now here in Chicago. Had himself a very good NBA career.
Yeah, Big Bill put a couple people in the basket. I used to fly a little bit.
Jordan's got it. Gets Brunson on the switch now. Wants to enter the ball into Stackhouse. Does. Around half. Clock is at 5. Stackhouse loses it going up. Gets it back. 2 on the clock. Beats it and gets a kind roll.
Wow. And there's really no place for him to penetrate on that possession. He's just trying to make something happen. He comes up with a loose ball and gets a prayer.
Kwame Brown working on Fizer. And Fizer will go to the line. For December, Marcus Fizer did not play in 8 of 12 games, played 39 minutes total in the 4 games he played in there. Then suddenly turned it on. 13.7 rebound average in December. 24 and 10 against Atlanta. And finally seeing some of the things they saw in Marcus Fizer when he played at Iowa State.
Substitution number 32, Eddie Robinson.
Eddie Robinson is coming back into the game for the Bulls. He was a leading scorer for Chicago in the first half.
Mr. Springs. It's surprising. Or maybe it's not so surprising. The whole free agent situation in Chicago, trying to lure free agents here, has been a lot tougher than the organization expected.
Teron Lue buries a 3 from outside. Now, a lot of free agents were like, yeah, we'd love to come play in Chicago. Where's number 23?
Well, I mean, just look at the bait that's out there for the free agents. I mean, you figure that the greatest player of all time really almost run out of the organization. What does that say? If you're a free agent coming in, that's got to be pretty intimidating.
That's a good point. Stackhouse to beat the buzzer, and does. And a Washington Wizards now, 3 seconds left. Robinson beats the buzzer, but can't find the iron. And Washington finished with a flourish and pulled to within 3, a 9-1 run. Bill Cartwright can't believe what happened to his double-digit lead. And right now, the Bulls have been strong in the paint, even with a 3-point lead.
Well, it was the lack of defense early on by the Wizards, as you saw. Crawford able to make it to the middle. Donyell Marshall using that length. And here he is again, dominating inside.
Ian from Portland asks, how do pro bowlers prepare for tough matches?
Actually, Ian, I try to visualize my opponents. What?
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Chris.
Get to know them. The Storm Las Vegas Classic, Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Saturday night, it's a Super Bowl Eve celebration with a special NFL primetime live from San Diego.
It's been as wacky a season as we can remember.
Relive the wild season and even wilder playoffs.
The calls after the calls are not right.
Then on Sunday, it's the ultimate NFL countdown to Super Bowl 37.
It's a chance to be real special today.
Your only Sunday morning stop for the best Super Bowl coverage. NFL Primetime Super Bowl Special presented by Miller Lite, Saturday at 6:30. Sunday NFL Countdown, Sunday at 11 on ESPN.
Mr. Stevens? Yeah. Got you down for over 130 channels, $39.99 a month.
Right, so...
every channel's digital quality. There's access to 31 premium movie channels, 60 pay-per-view movie titles a month.
Great. So that can go on the back of the roof?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good. So go ahead and pull around back.
You work for the cable company, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why settle for cable? Switch to DirecTV and get over 130 channels, only $39.99 a month. Call 1-800-DirecTV or visit a participating retailer now.
Let's say one phone company provides you long distance and a completely different one has your local service. Now you probably pay too.
Putting on a performance. He's taking advantage of every opportunity the defense is giving him. They're giving him those open 15, 18 footers. He's stepping up and knocking them down.
Laettner with 17 points, averaging just 7 over the course of this season thus far. Fizer now wants to go around Kwame Brown. The big bump goes up strong, no good. Laettner had the rebound, lost it. It comes right to Fizer. Then he drops it in.
You know, he gets that ball back, but I would prefer, if you're going to penetrate and come with some power, use the glass. The glass is your friend on that move. Guys are trying to put it up with touch and not use the glass. Extremely difficult shot.
Laettner doesn't graze anything that time, and Jalen Rose cut off by Tyronn Lue. Fizer wants it, and right now he's schooling young Kwame Brown down there. He's just got, I mean, Brown's taller, obviously, but Fizer's got too much bulk for Kwame down in the block right now.
Marcus Fizer, if he's so strong and powerful, you can't get caught up wrestling a guy like that in the block. You need to release contact and then try to get around him if that's what your purpose is. That time he does a beautiful job of sealing the youngster. He's taking advantage of him.
Christian Laettner remains hot. Fizer's 7 points in this quarter are all 7 for the Bulls, so he's been the guy they've gone to down there, and he has Kwame Brown again sealed and again scores. That's a matchup that Doug Collins is going to have to look at.
Well, he's bringing Haywood in off the bench, and so he recognizes the fact that right now Kwame Brown is being out-muscled by Marcus Fizer, and on the other end, they're also doing a beautiful job of continuing to go to Christian Laettner, except for that possession.
And Corey Blunt with a good tip from behind. Fizer this time had Laettner on him, and it doesn't matter. Fizer with 11 points in this quarter.
He's just too big and strong right now for the young players on the Washington Wizards. He's overpowering them in the middle.
Marcus Fizer, the reason the Bulls have opened up the lead to 10 again.
ATV Off-Road Fury 2. So realistic, they'll swear you were there. Rated E for everyone.
We get explorers coming through here all day long. No doubt. They keep coming in, leaving, coming in. Non-stop.
Dad, check this out!
I can dig it.
The 2003 Ford Explorer.
That third row seat folding down, you get in there, plenty of room. After you buff it, it's like butter.
It's been the best-selling SUV for 11 years.
I got a feeling we're going to be washing a lot more, man. And break time is over, fellas.
The 2003 Ford Explorer. Popularity has no boundaries.
Well, what do you want to read today?
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss?
He's my favorite.
Well, I have a surprise for you.
What is it?
ESPN's presentation of NBA Friday, brought to you by STP Fuel Injector Cleaner, because fuel injectors work better when they're clean.
Nuggets and Celtics, and it was Paul Pierce against the Celtics, Greg.
And he was just in a zone tonight. There are certain nights when guys have the ability to go out and fill it up from anywhere. Look at the three, with two hands in his face. Unbelievable performance.
Paul Pierce, 45. The Nuggets 58. So the Nuggets beat him by 13 points. The Celtics won the game 77-58, though. Pierce with more threes made and more free throws made. The daddy running a little late. No love, no nothing. He's all business as the Lakers get ready for the Nets. But, John, how about Paul Pierce tonight?
Unbelievable. How about the Nuggets not getting to 60 points?
Well, I looked at that highlight there, and Paul Pierce is penetrating and going through 5 people. Somebody has to step up and play some defense.
Hey, somebody forgot to tell Marcus Fizer it's Michael Jordan's night. He scored 11 points in 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
He's just too big and strong, and Doug Collins had to come with Brendan Haywood off the bench.
Fizer commits the foul this time. A little overly aggressive.
And he just did it with a combination of power and touch in the lane. Did a great job sealing the younger player, Kwame Brown, a la Karl Malone. You look at Karl Malone, he has that kind of seal. Marcus Fizer doing the same thing, using that big body.
And the bench, 42-15 is the advantage right now for the Bulls. Make that 42-18 as Tyronn Lue knocks in a 3.
Tyronn Lue's a guy who can score for you in a hurry now. He has the ability to go outside and knock down threes with efficiency.
Robinson down to Fizer. Still got Kwame Brown guarding him, although he's getting some help from Haywood. And Kwame Brown reached in, overly aggressive, and commits the foul.
Over the top.
Even though he doesn't have a size advantage, he definitely has a strength advantage. And he's using that to overpower the younger players.
That's 5 fouls now on Kwame Brown. And Michelle, Kwame Brown has really been a project for Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I think Jordan was proud of that move right there. But yes, he said Kwame Brown played so well in his first couple of games this season, but has not regained that form. And if he can, he will play a large role in them getting to the playoffs, John.
A lot of it is a matter of confidence.
Yeah, the best thing that can happen to this young Wizards team is to make it to the playoffs so these young players feel that intensity.
Stackhouse probably would have liked that pass back. He was looking for Tyronn Lue. Fortunate it came back into the hands of the Wizards and Larry Hughes. Stackhouse, Brunson. Into Kwame Brown, he gets fouled by Corey Blunt.
Shot play on the side.
Yeah, you put these young players, John, you put them in a playoff situation, and all of a sudden the games are twice as physical. Guys are throwing bows, you're getting beat up. Every time you catch a basketball, it forces you to raise your level of intensity, and that's exactly what these young guys need. They need to learn what it's like to have to get in there really in the trenches in battle.
Stackhouse trying to find his way free of Robinson. Ooh, nice move. Stackhouse just gets it on the iron. Wow, I don't know about that one. That might have been goaltending. That looked like it was still on the iron when they knocked it off.
No question about it.
Brunson down to Corey Blunt, and that's as easy 2 deuces as he'll get.
And that's just too easy when you're on the road and you're trying to fight and claw yourself back into a ball game to give up 2 easy points like that.
Larry Hughes ran out of real estate, gets a crowd of white jerseys around him. 3-second violation.
You see Haywood there trying to get a shot up, gets it blocked. A little overpassing by the Wizards. And you see Michael's reaction. Just going to take a little bit of time. You have to have tons of patience when you're dealing with the younger players.
Michael Jordan returns to the game. Michelle, a special day for MJ.
Yes, John, but there is one person in this building who refuses to believe Jordan is retiring, and that's Bill Cartwright. He said to me before the game, let's face it, is this really his last game here? He's been retiring for 10 years. He compared him, John and Sean, to the Rolling Stones. He said their first farewell tour was in the 80s. That's the perfect comparison, the Rolling Stones.
Jalen Rose knocks that one in. I don't know, Michael looks a lot healthier than Keith Richards. A lot healthier.
I'm staying away from that one.
Robinson almost with the steal. It's a strange night. I mean, aside from the obvious that Michael Jordan is playing his final game here, it's just almost as if the players and the fans haven't quite figured out how to react as we're here with 7 minutes left. Larry Hughes knocks down the jump shot.
Yeah, like we said earlier, there's really been no flow to this game. It's been a weird ball game.
They don't have an answer for Marcus Fizer right now. It doesn't matter who they put on him. Leitner that time, Fizer's having his own way down there.
Eventually, you're going to have to double team him. A lot of young players are unaccustomed to being double teamed. Make them pass the ball and give it up.
Bunsen looking for Fizer on the break. Numbers up here for the Wizards. Tyronn Lue back to Jordan. Jump shot. Comes up short, dances around, and Haywood almost had the rebound, winds up being fouled.
He's fouled on the attempt. He's trying to tip that ball back in. If he had got that to go, if he had gotten that one to go, that would have been an athletic play. Trying to put it in with one hand. Looked like he was going to try to put his hand under the ball and lay it back in.
I think one of the reasons you only had one hand on the ball is because the other one was holding off Corey Blunt. Yeah. That one could have gone either way.
Well, right now, if you're the Bulls, you just need a steady diet of Marcus Fizer. Just continue to feed him the ball down low. He's just demolishing the interior players for the Wizards.
Maybe Robinson gets up on that pogo stick again, or Washington would have come out with that rebound. Jalen Rose trying to work on Hughes. Lue comes over with a double team, and Hughes gets the steal. Jordan on Tyronn Lue. Lue comes up shooting. Rebounded by Jordan, no good. Haywood gets it back. And that ball will stay with the Washington Wizards. Haywood with 8 offensive rebounds in this game.
Well, that's where on that offensive possession, if you're the Bulls, if you're Jalen Rose, you got to give it up. The double team's there. You're trying to split the double team. You can end up losing the basketball, but you have to realize that somebody else is open out there on the floor.
Tyronn Lue, Stackhouse comes over. There's an opening there. Lue takes it right at Corey Blunt. He gets fouled.
Oh, that's a nice drive by Lue. He penetrated like he meant business that time. Switched the ball in the air, tried to lay it with his left hand. He's going to get a couple free throws.
A couple of guys who've been fortunate enough to play and coach. Michael Jordan.
Kidd seeks revenge in a finals rematch.
the Bucks' secret weapon. Chicago says a last goodbye to its hometown hero. And Serena Venus, are they the best ever? SportsCenter after tennis on ESPN.
Imagine taping your own SportsCenter segment. ESPN and Smirnoff Ice are giving you that chance. Log on or call 1-800-444-2211 and enter to win a studio tour at SportsCenter headquarters and tape your very own SportsCenter segment. Enter now.
Are you in on it? Go to the new cheaptickets.com with new fare search technology for lower prices than ever. Or call now for new travel deals on hotels, cars, condos, and vacation packages. Now, there's one travel site that charges no online booking fees. Save $5 to $10 per person. Cheap Tickets, the best kept secret in travel.
Ever wondered what it's really like to be a soldier?
What do you got? I have a sit rep from Alpha Company.
Ready to be verified. Verified.
Put yourself in the picture with this free video. You'll see over 200 great jobs in the Army and over 180 in the Army Reserve. You'll also see what skills you learn, how you can earn money for college, even what soldiers do in their free time. Call 1-800-984-ARMY now and get this free t-shirt and your free video. Put yourself in the picture and see what it's really like to become an Army of One.
Kevin Frazier and Greg Anthony in the studio. We check in on a duel between the starting center for the Eastern All-Stars and the Western All-Stars, Yao Ming and Ben Wallace.
That's a great matchup, but more importantly, look at Ben Wallace with the finish here. I really like the way Detroit's playing in transition to Corliss Williamson for the deuce.
Wallace with 5 points, Yao Ming with 4. Richard Jefferson, studious, just chilling, reading and kicking it in L.A., getting set to face off with the Lakers. Look at how cool Richard is. John?
Kevin, you know those Arizona guys. They got to check the stock report. They got an Arizona guy next to me. You can see how the West is standing right now, and the Lakers still on the outside looking in. But with the talent on that team, do you really believe that they won't make the playoffs?
I just can't fathom the idea that they can't really put something together and claw themselves into the 7th or 8th spot at least.
And the 8th spot right now, Michelle, is where Doug Collins' team presides in the East.
Indeed, and right now he wants this win very badly. In the timeout, he said he was putting his small lineup in, which he has. He said, you guys need to rebound the ball and then attack. We don't have to do anything quickly. There's plenty of time left, but we need defensive stops. And by the way, we're shooting free throws the rest of the way. So if you're going to the basket, don't avoid the contact, Sean. He said, go for it. Take the contact.
Best way to get yourself back in the ball game, especially when you're down big, is to get to the free throw line. You stop the clock, you get free shots. Get rhythm for all the players involved.
Get a 3-second call. Went against Marcus Fizer down there a little bit too long. Sunday on ESPN, the Blazers and the Dallas Mavericks. Mavs with the best record. That's at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Then Wednesday on ESPN, the Mavs again against Yao Ming and the Rockets at 9 o'clock on TNT on Thursday. The Mavs again with the Timberwolves, followed by the Kings and the Sonics. If you don't like Dallas this week, you'll find something else to do. Michael Jordan trying to create a lot of contact down there. And no whistles. Jalen Rose and Eddie Robinson. Then Fizer finds his way to the free throw line.
Fizer doing a beautiful job of trailing that break. I would like more spacing on that break, though. We've seen a couple fast breaks tonight, and you can tell that both these teams are unaccustomed to getting out and running. And Jalen Rose is running that break in the middle of the floor. There's no spacing on that fast break, and contrary to popular belief, the fast break is not a fire drill. It's organized. You should have a guy run the right lane, left lane, a guy in the middle. You should have good spacing.
Marcus Fizer started at the quarter quickly. And take a look. 14 points, 6 of 8 from the field. He's found his way to the free throw line. Doesn't get that to go. Leitner clears it. But Fizer really has come along since December, as I mentioned earlier.
This should be a big boost for his confidence. Stackhouse wide open.
Stackhouse was looking for a big dunk, and Danielle Marshall got down there with the long arms and took away that possibility, but he still goes to the free throw line. So adding points with the clock stopped is always a good thing.
And Stack, again, like you said, adding points by going to the free throw line, continuing to punish the Bulls on the inside if you penetrate.
Stackhouse, 19 points, make that 20 points with that free throw, and 10 assists. That ties a season high, and he's 8 of 10 from the free throw line. It's not been enough thus far tonight, though, to get the Wizards on top of the Bulls.
The Bulls they've continued to respond, John. Due in large part to Marcus Fizer. When the guys had an unbelievable ball game, it's been a handful for anybody that's guarded him.
Brunson down to Robinson. Robinson again finds a way. Long arms, great leap. Shots that look like they're not possible for other players, he's able to get off.
Yeah, because he's so athletic, he's so gifted. And if that ball had come off the rim, guess who was there to clean up the mess? Fizer. He went right down the lane untouched.
Robinson now with 15 points. Brunson has 9 assists. Stackhouse into the paint, comes up shooting and knocks it in.
And now that you know that you're in the penalty, you can't be as aggressive on Stackhouse. He has his way with you. He can penetrate, he can stop, he can pull up, he can give you fakes, go all the way to the bucket. He's now allowed to mix it up a little bit more.
He's battling down there with Jalen Rose on the defensive end. Lou comes over with the help. That frees up Brunson, who hits the jump shot.
And there's Jalen Rose doing a nice job of recognizing that double team. As the help comes, he immediately gets rid of the basketball, makes his teammate look better.
Stackhouse around Fizer. Tyronn Lue down to Hughes, who gets bumped, uses the glass. No call down there. Brunson wants to push it ahead to Fizer. Takes it right at the hole.
He's just too strong. He took it right at Michael that time underneath the bucket, and there's nothing that he could do about it.
Stackhouse thought about a three, backs it up, does launch a three-pointer, won't stay down. Leitner tips it once, twice, and in.
Now, Leitner's been here all night long, knocking jumpers from the outside, keeping balls alive on the glass, and he's rewarded.
Approaching 3 minutes to go here. Jalen Rose has not had the shot today, but guess who's there for the rebound? Fizer, a rare miss for him, out of bounds. And it still belongs to the Bulls.
Well, it looks like the Wizards go into a little bit of a zone here. They're having a tough time matching up with Fizer. Here's Brunson out in the open floor, off to Fizer, and he just overpowers Michael and Lou in the open floor. Good for 2.
January 31st.
Would I have to kill anyone? Would you like to?
Get recruited.
Welcome to CIA. Nothing is what it seems.
Al Pacino.
Do not get caught.
Colin Farrell.
If you are compromised, you're dead.
Yeah! The Recruit. Rated PG-13.
We get explorers coming through here all day long.
No doubt. They keep coming in, leaving, coming in.
Non-stop.
Yeah, check this out.
I can dig it.
The 2003 Ford Explorer.
That third row seat folding down, you get in there, plenty of room. After you buff it, it's like butter.
It's been the best-selling SUV for 11 years.
Got a feeling we're going to be washing a lot more, man.
And break time is over, fellas.
The 2003 Ford Explorer. Popularity has no boundaries.
Jason Kidd chilling right now, but you know, he leads the NBA in fast break points. He's getting ready to break against the Lakers. Nets and Lakers on the way after the Bulls and Wizards are done.
Well, and Kevin, it seems like Jason Kidd got that letter that Sean sent him. You saw him, he was responding to that. It's Michael Jordan's night, regardless of which arena you're in the NBA tonight. And Michael showed us a little bit of what it was like when he played here with Chicago. Obviously, very emotional night for him and for the rest of the players on the floor as well.
He just, had a taste of everything tonight. Couple jumpers, beautiful lefty mid-air layup, and then he's had some struggles as well. Missed a couple easy jumpers. Here he's unable to get himself into the offense. And, he recognizes that there's going to be nights like that. But not on his night.
No, it's not supposed to be. Well, again, as we mentioned before, all the people who are here will say he scored 40 about 10 years from now.
Yeah, right.
Weren't you there the last night Michael played? He had 40. Right now, the number that's most important is the number on the clock. As time is running out on the Wizards, that still belongs to the Bulls.
Here's this move that I've been waiting to see. Now watch his head fake. He gives Jalen Rose that head fake, and how many times have you seen this head fake? He's the originator of that move. There's no question about it. He's the first guy that I saw pull that little head fake off. And now you see Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant. It's a large part of their games, particularly in the post area.
Robinson just flies up on that jump shot. I mean, he jumps so high, his jumper's almost coming down.
Exactly.
Against the Bulls, Michelle, I know Michael told you it's very difficult to play against this team.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, but I think it's worth retelling. He said he has a tough time. It's a sensitive issue to come in here with the same killer instinct against his old team that he plays with in every other game. But he also said he wants to leave this building as a winner, and he'll do what it takes to get there. He's got, 226 in which to do it, John.
And Stackhouse trying to help the cause out, but Jalen Rose is back there to say none of that.
I like the fact that Jalen Rose, again, gave that ball up when he saw the double team coming. Brunson just unable to knock down that jumper. But that's what you have to love about the great players in this league. You have a responsibility to make other players around you better.
Chicago's got 10 blocked shots in this game. Hughes goes in and gets it +1. Bulls having a great night. 32 assists. That's a season high for them.
That shows you a team that's sharing the basketball. Here's Larry Hughes doing a tremendous job coming down the lane, gets that contact, and has the concentration and focus to put that ball off the glass with touch.
Hughes with a chance to get this to a 5-point game. Boy, that was short. You could see that from the time it left his hand. Teron Lue chases it down. Jordan goes up to the glass and scores.
I think he's just picking his spots to show his brilliance.
Save it for the last couple of minutes. That's what everybody here is used to seeing. It's got to be a little bit surreal for the Bulls as well, as the fans respond by cheering Michael Jordan pulling the Wizards within 4. Oh, bad pass. Donyell Marshall couldn't get it.
But that's nothing new for Michael either, John. He used to go to packed houses in hostile territory, and the fans would be cheering like crazy for him.
Jordan goes to the line. I remember I mentioned before working for the Toronto Raptors, and the very first game we did was against the Bulls and Michael Jordan. And the next day, you see his career against the Bulls. The next day after our first telecast, John Sally, who was playing for the Raptors at the time, came up to Leo Rutenzai and said, "You guys realize that you're working for Toronto, right?" He said, "I listened to the replay of the game. It sounded like you guys were the Bulls announcers. You were so excited about Jordan."
Everybody was excited, and remember those kind of plays there, cutting along the baseline. He used to finish those with emphatic dunks.
And we've got a 2-point game, folks, with an 8-0 run for the Washington Wizards. If you came to see Michael Jordan tonight, stick around. The last minute 46 might be vintage.
We get explorers coming through here all day long. No doubt. They keep coming in, leaving, coming in. Non-stop.
Yeah, check this out.
I can dig it.
The 2003 Ford Explorer.
That third row seat folding down, you get in there, plenty of room. After you buff it, it's like butter.
It's been the best-selling SUV for 11 years.
I got a feeling we're going to be washing a lot more, man.
And break time is over, fellas.
The 2003 Ford Explorer. Popularity has no boundaries.
hand over the mouth.
Rated M for mature.
You gelling? No telling how much I'm gelling. You gelling?
You know I'm gelling.
Hey, Ellen, you gelling?
I'm gelling like a felon. You want some melon?
Nah, but hey, I'm like mud gelling. I'm so gelling.
Nice.
Are you gelling yet? Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles are made from the softest gel ever created. If you and your shoes don't feel outrageously comfortable, you get your money back. Guaranteed.
I'm gelling.
You're not gelling. You're so not gelling.
Are you gelling yet? Dr. Scholl's. Look, feel, do better.
Let's say one phone company provides you long distance and a completely different one has your local service. Now, you probably pay too much for both of them, but you let it slide until you discover that with the neighborhood, you can get unlimited local and long distance together for one low monthly price. That has a happy ring to it.
Call 1-800-JOIN-MCI today. The Neighborhood, where local and long distance come together. Over 1 million have joined.
How about you?
Lakers and Nets on the way. You know, the Lakers are 8-3 since their Christmas Day loss to Sacramento. That's the second best record in the NBA over that span. The daddy's ready, and it seems like his team too. John?
Yeah, Kevin, Dave O'Brien, Tom Tolbert, and Sal Masekela will have that one, but we're not done here yet. The last time the Wizards were within 2, there's 6 minutes left in the second half, and it was 34-32. It's Michael Jordan's final game here in Chicago, where he helped hoist 6 championship trophies and banners. John Saunders, Sean Elliott, and Michelle Tafoya here in the final minute 46. And Sean, in a game like this, as we talked about before, when you are a young team, these situations are more difficult.
They're a lot more difficult because who's your leader on the team? Your leader needs to step up, keep everybody calm, and really direct traffic out there on the floor. Let everybody know, hey, this is a valuable possession. We got to get a good shot here. We got to clamp down on defense, and a lot of young teams don't understand it.
Jalen Rose, you figure, has got to be the guy. There's a bump. There was a foul to give for Washington. And so now they'll be into the penalty the rest of the way.
And you know, also young players don't embrace the pressure, especially in the last minute. You have guys like Michael. Throughout his career, he embraced the pressure. He fed off of it. When the game was on the line, he only got better. And that takes time. You can't learn that in your first, 2 or 3 years.
Whoa. Jerry Stackhouse has ended up in our lap. Turned over. Jordan had it. Pfizer with some strength goes and takes it right to the iron.
He just put on a strongman performance in the fourth quarter. He just flexing those muscles.
17 fourth-quarter points for Marcus Pfizer.
And he's outguarding Larry Hughes on the perimeter.
Stackhouse shoots over Pfizer, rattles around, no good. Donyell Marshall with the rebound.
That good-looking shot just can't get it to fall for Jerry Stackhouse. But the Wizards still have a lot of time here.
Doug Collins was out there quickly to say, just calm down. We've got all the time in the world. Clock is at 7. Pfizer outside. Swings it. Brunson won't stay down. Hughes goes after the rebound and comes out of there with it. Hughes wants to go right to the goal. Lost it. It'll still belong to Washington.
And John, I'm going to ask you, who was guarding Pfizer on that possession? A very key possession. Michael Jordan's guarding him on the perimeter.
After Marcus Pfizer has schooled just about everyone else wearing a blue jersey down there. It's Michael Jordan's night, but it's been Marcus Pfizer's fourth quarter. And in the final 41 seconds, it'll be interesting to see whether Doug Collins calls something up for number 23 on his final night in Chicago.
$50 cash and see the most exciting fighters in the business. Undisputed champion Kostya Tszyu. Former world champion Sharmba Mitchell. The 2000 Olympians, Rocky Juarez and Francisco Bojado. Plus, the return of the biggest name in boxing, Mike Tyson. To order, call 1-888-SHOWTIME and get $50 cash. Showtime, America's #1 boxing network.
Airport?
Yes.
Well, my name is Jim.
I just love the smell of your limo, Jim.
Oh yeah, well, it's a new car.
I love that new car smell.
Yeah, I wish it was mine.
It smells so good, Jim, this leather.
Here we are.
I'll meet you at the polo match at 2, okay? Yeah. I know. Well, Mommy's gonna meet me there.
Back here in Chicago, John Saunders, Sean Elliott, and Michelle Tafoya. You see the situation right now. Nobody with a foul to give, and the timeouts are the same. Marcus Fizer, 17 of the Bulls, 25 points in this quarter.
Just showing his strength down low. He's been dominant, doing a great job of sealing players. Here it is, the seal, Kwame Brown. Just doesn't have enough strength right now to stay with this guy in the paint. He's doing a tremendous job of shielding the defenders from the basketball, using all that upper body strength. He's been overpowering anybody that's been asked to guard him.
8 of 13 from the field and 18 points, but 17 of them in this quarter. Stackhouse finds Hughes, wants a closer look, glides to the glass, comes up empty, and wonders what happened to the whistle.
Donyell Marshall did a great job of contesting with those long arms.
And Washington forced into a situation where they had to foul. Hughes finally does reach in. And into the penalty. That'll send Donyell Marshall up to the line. He's one of the better free throw shooters for this team. The Bulls under 70% free throw shooting on the season. Donyell Marshall is just under 80%, so he's the guy they'd like to have up there.
Well, that's where your leadership comes from. You want guys who are unafraid to step to the free throw line late in the game. Donyell Marshall shoots that first free throw with a ton of confidence.
Marshall with 11 rebounds in the game. He comes up short on the second one. We get a timeout called by Washington, down by 5 with just a couple of ticks under 27 seconds left. When we come back, will it be the final 27 of Michael Jordan's career in Chicago?
Doesn't Miller Lite taste great?
Yeah, but I drink it because it's less filling.
Great taste. Less filling! Great taste! Less filling! Great taste! Less filling!
Oh man, now that would make a great commercial. Who wouldn't want to watch that?
Life is best told over a great tasting Miller Lite at a place called Miller Time.
Less filling!
There are over 100,000 firms that prepare taxes. How do you choose the right one? Look for a guarantee. With H&R Block's Satisfaction Guarantee, you don't pay until you're completely satisfied. It's one tax advantage we should all enjoy.
This is the sound. These are the results. This is the sound of the PowerFlex by Gold's Gym, the authority since 1965. Gold's Gym gives you one powerful machine with 65 club-quality exercises. The secret to the PowerFlex begins with the swivel flex pulleys that provide you with free range of motion. Next, Power Stroke Resistance simulates the natural movement of your muscles and allows you to move from 10 to 410 pounds of resistance with one simple stroke. Call now for free information about how you can get the Gold's Gym PowerFlex into your home for as low as $49 a month. With the Gold's Gym PowerFlex, you get the lat tower, the multi-position bench, hip strap, rowing seat, ankle strap, handles, and space saver design. As a special bonus, when you order, you'll also get the Gold's Gym PowerFlex Leg Developer for stronger legs and shapelier hips and thighs. A $200 value absolutely free. Call the number on your screen now.
All the big principals on the court. Jason Kidd and Kobe with a little love for each other as the daddy watches the Nets and Lakers. They're getting ready. It's next. John?
Yeah, the rematch from the championship a year ago. Dave O'Brien, Tom Tolbert, Sal Masekela will bring you that one. But we're not quite done here. Neither team with a foul to give. And we're down to the final 27 seconds, and Washington needs to make up 5 points.
Oh, they need a bucket here in a hurry. Don't have a lot of time to try to set up something.
Stackhouse takes it right at the goal. Short, Donyell Marshall gets his 12th rebound of the game.
A well-designed play. You get the shot that you want. You put the ball in the hands of the guy who can get you a bucket or at least get you to the foul line. Just missed that easy opportunity. Tough break for the Wizards.
Washington trying to avoid dropping below 500. Donyell Marshall goes to the line. Washington with the missed 10 free throws makes a big difference. Michelle?
You know, John, before the game, Michael Jordan said about the Bulls, they're playing really hard. The effort is there, and that's a good start for this young team. If you play hard, you'll be rewarded. Maybe they're getting their reward, Sean.
Yes, they are. Marcus Fizer, really the big story tonight. He's been the guy who was playing hard.
Tyronn Lue takes it hard to the goal. And it's 5 again. Final 10 seconds here. Leitner fouls Brunson.
But that's exactly what it's about. You know, a lot of young teams, again, when we can, talk about this over and over again, but they're more concerned with the glamorous part of the game. Putting up numbers, seeing yourself on the highlight film. But in order to do that, you've also got to play defense. You've got to share the basketball. You have to do all the little things that aren't so glamorous. The dirty work. You need guys to help each other out, draw charges, rebound the basketball, box people out.
And Bobby Simmons comes in for Michael Jordan as Doug Collins. The theatrics. Sean, you could talk about the scoring titles and the championships, but one of the things that stands out for me with Michael Jordan, over the course of his career, 8 times he played all 82 games. 81 once, 80 and 78. The durability and the fact that he knew he had to be on the floor every night stands out.
Especially the way he played the game.
Extremely difficult. He comes up short this time around as the Bulls win it, 104-97. Coming up, a rematch of the 2002 NBA Finals, the Lakers and the Nets. For Sean Elliott, Michelle Tafoya, and our entire ESPN2 crew, I'm John Saunders. Right now, let's take you out to Dave O'Brien, Tom Tolbert, and Sal Masekela, Nets and the Lakers.